this is our first guy.
You know I hate this dirtbag. He's getting caught today. I'm John Walsh, and I've dedicated my entire life to locking up the worst criminals.
We're tracking down one of the most ruthless gangs of lawbreakers we've ever gone after.
My son Callahan and I are fired up. With your help, we're coming for fugitives, hunting them down, and putting them right where they belong, behind bars, including these that you'll see tonight. First, a 19-year-old National Guardsman ambushed and gunned down. In an AMW exclusive, the chilling surveillance footage that helped police ID a dangerous gang member suspected of his murder, Joseph Matos. Then, Catfish host Neve Schulman helps us decipher clues in a twisted case involving an accused wife killer using dating apps to stay one step ahead of the law. Donald Hodges is online and on the run. And finally, an 11-year-old girl vanished without a trace, allegedly hidden for years by her own mother. Elizabeth Smart joins us to examine new evidence and a major breakthrough in this 6-year-old mystery. Help us find Jennifer Settle. America's Most Wanted is the original true crime series. You can run, but you can't hide. Hello, everybody. I'm John Walsh, and America's Most Wanted is back. Back to give voice to victims with a relentless pursuit of justice. Back to give power to you, the viewers, to help us track down the most dangerous fugitives in America. And I'm excited to have my son Callahan by my side. He's always there.
Thrilled to be here. A lot has changed since my father began this fight in 1988. Thanks to your tips, 1,198 fugitives have been captured.
Ever since my 6-year-old son Adam was abducted and murdered, I pledged to go after lowlifes in towns and cities everywhere. For us, it's not just personal, it's a promise to never give up on trying to find answers for families and deliver the nation's most dangerous fugitives to law enforcement. Last season alone, with your help, we took these 7 fugitives down. Take a good look. Since our last episode, we've celebrated the arrest of suspected child molester Davy Albaran.
Thank you to America's Most Wanted and anybody who called in with the tip that helped get justice for my daughter. And we did it!
But the captures didn't stop there. We also put 6 more lowlifes behind bars. First, suspected serial stalker Jacob Smart was taken into custody in Washington State. Then, Taji Michael, wanted for the murder of Sacramento football star Najee Grimes, was arrested in North Carolina.
We want to thank the viewers of America's Most Wanted for helping us to bring justice for the Grimes family and ultimately bring Taji Michael to justice.
Then, convicted drug dealer David Young finally faced the music when cops busted him in Sonora, Mexico. Young was a member of the street gang allegedly responsible for selling the drugs that killed Dylan Jones. Authorities also put Tyler Wilkinson behind bars in Orange County, California. Wilkinson is suspected of selling the counterfeit pills that killed 17-year-old Brooke Badger.
Orange County Sheriff's Department is very grateful. We were able to ultimately get the tips in, which led to the arrest of Tyler Wilkinson.
And finally, U.S. Marshals arrested suspected kidnappers Luis and Andrea Ramirez and returned Lucito and Camila to their aunt.
But the fight goes on, and it's your loyalty and your tips that drive us to get these lowlifes off the streets.
We couldn't do it without the dedication of local, state, and federal law enforcement, along with some incredible advocates and survivors who fight for justice every day. One of them is Elizabeth Smart, a child abduction survivor ready to lend her expertise on an unsolved missing persons case. Every minute counts, so let's saddle up. Our first case tonight is a heartbreaking National Guardsman's murder. Just 19 years old, he was fresh out of boot camp, and he was shot and killed, not in battle, but simply because he went to a party in his hometown of Chicago.
Tonight, in an AMW exclusive, a never-before-seen surveillance video shows how the FBI ID'd 2 gang members suspected of the crime. And with your help, we can finally give a grieving family the justice they need.
19-year-old Chris Carvajal was an innocent bystander that was gunned down and killed on July of 2021. The 19-year-old victim was a National Guard member who had recently returned home from boot camp.
My name is Lourdes Lara. I am Chris Carvajal mom. Chris was a beautiful young man. Happy birthday to you. Chris was not only my son. Chris was my friend, my confidant, my baby.
Even though I'm the oldest, I feel like Chris was the leader of the pack. He was always the responsible one that you could go to for any advice. My mom did really good showing him like his morals and that we should always help others before we help ourselves. Chris was the first in our family to enlist to the National Guard and protect this country. His goal was to become a police officer. Chris came back after 9 months of basic training. We were so proud of him and just so happy to have him back here. July 2nd, 2021, Chris decided to go out. He went to like a house party. He was enjoying the night, but apparently Chris needed to get something from his car.
The initial 911 call was a person calling shots fired. They also stated that they observed a male laying on the ground. I arrived around 2:30 in the morning. There was crime scene tape and patrol vehicles with their lights on, cordoning off the area. Shell casings were discovered where the shooting occurred. Our usual procedure is to start seeing if there are any witnesses and also identify any possible video of the crime. Video from a private surveillance camera actually caught the entire incident. It shows Chris run down the street by himself. As he's approaching the intersection, a red car approaches. Chris continues south towards his vehicle. That red vehicle moves forward a few feet, and an individual exits the passenger side and begins firing a handgun. When the officers responded to the scene, they discovered Chris lying face down, unresponsive on the sidewalk. And they then transfer him to Illinois Masonic Hospital, where he's eventually pronounced deceased by the doctor.
It was like 4 o'clock in the morning, and my sister called me. I had a gut feeling that it was something like really bad with Chris.
That night, the detectives say he passed away. I say, no, this can happen. He say, maybe you had the wrong person. He say, no.
Why him? He never got into fights, never had any type of altercation, so why him?
The fact that video shows the entire incident, it's critical. We were able to determine a license plate of that vehicle. We were able to run it in the Secretary of State database. We then see who the registered owner is. Joseph Matos. Matos had an extensive criminal history going back to 2001.
Matos was a member of the Milwaukee Canes, a notoriously violent street gang based on the northwest side of Chicago. Despite their small numbers, like most street gangs, there is a hierarchy, and Matos was widely considered to be the second in command.
I'm never gonna forget the 4th of July. Never.
To his killers, Chris was just some nameless random notch in their belts. But he has family. He was a soldier, a brother, a son with very big dreams and a bright future.
Please, we need your help finding Joseph Matos. Take a look at these important clues. Matos is a Latino male, 42 years old, 6 feet 2 inches tall, about 220 pounds, and goes by the nickname Troubles. It's like this guy is begging to get caught. Check out the tattoo Most Wanted across his abdomen, and he's literally wearing a sign around his neck. M-Town Kings on the right side, and the tattoo 1300 on the left side.
The FBI considers him armed and very dangerous, and they're offering a reward of up to $25,000 for any information leading to his arrest and conviction.
We have other critical details about this case we need to share with you. Plus, we'll talk to someone who's been on the inside, a former gang leader, about what fuels this kind of violence. Stay with us.
Coming up, we have a tragic story about a fugitive who will make you think twice before hitting like on a dating app. Neve Schulman from Catfish will join us to break down the risks of digital dating and how a dangerous predator could be hiding in plain sight. Plus, we've got a crucial new lead on a missing girl, allegedly taken by her mother after a bitter custody battle. But first, we need your help with this case. They say diamonds are forever, but not in this case, where 8 suspects robbed a jewelry store of $90,000 worth of merchandise in less than 20 seconds. It all started on January 6, 2025, at the Dubai Jewelry Store, located in the Greece Ridge Center Mall in Greece, New York. Watch as the first suspect leaps over the counter, immediately grabbing necklaces. Store employees try to intervene, but 5 more thieves rush in, overwhelming them. The suspects smash display cases with a baseball bat, snatch jewelry, and flee, all before security guards can stop them. 3 of the 8 suspects have been arrested. 5 remain at large. These scumbags wore masks and gloves. And take a look at this guy's sweatshirt design. Do you recognize it? If so, we want to know. Please send us your tips. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to America's Most Wanted. 2 members in a Chicago-based street gang thought taking a life would earn them respect on the streets. Now we need your help to find this coward, Joseph Matos, so we can put him behind bars where he belongs.
Chris was on a right path in life. He did not deserve this.
Once investigators identified Joseph Matos as the owner of the red vehicle, they quickly determined he was the driver during the shooting. But finding out who allegedly pulled the trigger took more work. Through grainy surveillance footage, cell phone records, and interviewing witnesses, detectives uncovered the alleged shooter, another violent member of the Milwaukee Kings, Gary Roberson.
Carvajal had no ties to any gangs in the city of Chicago. Roberson allegedly shot at Chris Carvajal simply because he was at the wrong place at the wrong time. The Kings are notoriously violent. They've been known to shoot first and ask questions later. The shooting was a way for them to either maintain or increase their status within the gang. Charges against Matos and Roberson include a lot of different acts of violence. It was determined that SWAT would be best suited to do these simultaneous hits. While SWAT was getting ready to execute the warrants, Roberson stepped out of his residence and was ultimately taken into custody by the surveillance team. Unfortunately, Matos was not located. He's got a myriad of tattoos to include 1300 on the side of his neck, Heaven Sent held bound on his arms, and Most Wanted across his belly.
We need justice for Chris. We were very proud of him. We will always be proud of him.
We live 2 blocks from the cemetery, and I talk to him. I pray. And sometimes I feel better, sometimes it's hard. And his letters, he always wrote to me, Mommy, today is Sunday. My faith and your prayers give me strength.
I'm so proud of myself to be an American soldier. I am so proud to be your son. Thank you for everything.
Joining us now is Tyrone Muhammad, a former gangster disciples leader who served 21 years in state prison, turned his life way around, and is now the executive director for Ex-Cons for Community and Social Change.
Thank you, John, for having me.
Nice to have you here.
Thank you.
You know this case. Generally, what could lead to a situation like this?
In this case, it seemed like a senseless killing.
Do gangs do a random murder like that for street cred, to get credibility on the street?
That does happen. From my understanding of evidence, I'm looking at a mistaken identity.
Yeah.
Where they was looking for someone in that particular area, and I think Chris fit that description.
Yeah.
And that's often how we operate. It's impulsive. We see somebody or we think that's a description, we go into action. And oftentimes you find out later that that was the wrong person. It's really puzzling to me that it's his own car. It's just because it was too quick, too fast. That was something that Matos and them didn't even expect.
So they could track him through the car, right?
Absolutely.
Well, how do you think we catch him?
Matos, it would probably come from within his own clique in his own circle. Especially given the fact that now there's a reward out for his arrest.
Someone from his own gang, maybe.
The reward is big enough. It denotes the seriousness.
And I know a lot of bangers watch this show. They watch it to see if their cousin's on it or some other gang, you know
Absolutely.
what I mean? So,
we've watched it.
Yeah, you watched it. I don't need to know your name, where you live. Just tell me where the dirtbag is and we'll go get him.
Absolutely.
Cal, tell us about this creep.
Joseph Matos is a Latino male, 42 years old, 6 feet 2 inches tall, and about 220 pounds. Carvajal's murder occurred in 2021 in the Belmont-Cragen neighborhood of Chicago. He also has contacts in Los Angeles and Bedford, Texas. If you think you recognize someone who fits the description, don't approach him. Call 1-866-AMW-TIPS or go to amwtips.com. The FBI is offering up to $25,000 for information leading to his arrest and conviction. And remember, your tips are anonymous and your identity is protected.
Coming up, a giant of a man with a violent past is accused of murdering his wife in cold blood, and he could be getting help from the people he meets on dating apps. But first, we need your tips to help us with this case. A brazen ATM theft in Toledo, Ohio. Watch as this maroon GMC truck, caught on surveillance video, drives up to the Toledo Urban Federal Credit Union carrying suspect number 1. Moments later, suspect number 2 arrives on the scene in a skid steer that was stolen from a nearby construction site. The perp then motions to the truck to loop around, making a critical error in the process, showing their face. But it's hard to make it out, so take a closer look. Watch as the skid steer tries several times to knock the ATM on its side, damaging it in the process. After 90 seconds, the ATM topples over, landing perfectly in the next lane, paving the way for the maroon truck to barrel through, stealing the ATM and all the contents inside. The skid steer was recovered, but these suspects remain at large. If anything here looks familiar to you, call us or go to amwtips.com. More cases after the break. Welcome back. While some fugitives have features that make them easy to identify, like tattoos, for others it's their size. In this case, the bad guy is also a big guy, a 6'6", nearly 300-pound man who's hard to miss, yet somehow he's disappeared. This towering dirtbag is accused of a brutal crime. Investigators say he allegedly murdered his own wife, leaving her family to make the heartbreaking discovery.
In the wee hours of May the 5th at 4 o'clock in the morning, there was a large man acting erratic.
Sir! Hey! Sir! There's somebody in here! Kick the door! Listen.
During this incident, Charlotte PD had absolutely no idea that this person had allegedly just killed somebody.
Tanika was a very sociable and outgoing person. She was my godmother. My mom worked, so anytime my mom needed to call her for me and my sister, she was always there. She helped put me through college. She was very, very generous. She'd give you the clothes off her back. She was working at Flowers Baking here in Conover.
That's where she met Donald. That was the big mistake of her life.
Donald was very controlling. I mean, we couldn't even just go out to eat without him coming around.
He kept his eyes on them.
Donald had two sides. To Tanika, he was charming, loving, and supportive. But the family saw the other side of Donald.
I did warn Tanika, but she was already down too deep. Tanika and Donald were only dating for 8 months, and then they got married. I mean, she's a grown woman. She's going to do what she wanted to do, but I was very, very worried.
May the 5th, 2022, her friend called to tell me that Tanika did not come to work. She said, you need to go down there because something is wrong. And so I opened the door, and I got to Nick's room. I said, Tanika, Mama been trying to call you. She didn't say nothing. So when I run around on the side of the bed, that's when I seen the great big hole in her face. And I said, oh my gosh, my baby's dead, my baby's dead.
I just remember pulling up. The house is surrounded by caution tape, police everywhere. I just remember jumping out of the car and just running to my mama and hugging my mama. I feel like the world stopped.
We found a couple different shell casings, and then we realized the whole house was covered under video camera. So this led to a major breakthrough in the investigation. The video revealed that Tanika arrived home from work on the 4th of May. Tanika was never on another video, coming in or leaving from the home. Later on in the night, when we think that the murder took place, Mr. Hodges left in a calculated state. When we took a look at Mr. Hodges' background, it was evident that he was a convicted felon. He had weapons charges, he had assault charges. So when we put all the evidence together, Mr. Hodges was immediately a suspect.
But what investigators didn't know at the time was that 4 hours after Tanika's murder, Donald Hodges had entered a hotel 40 miles south in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Listen. Hey. My wallet out there, man. I got your wallet.
He was acting erratic, scaring hotel employees, seemingly under the influence of drugs.
Why are you sweating so bad, man? No judgment or anything. Have you taken anything tonight?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
And when first responders on the scene asked him his name, he lied.
When law enforcement on site took a look in his wallet, they discovered his Social Security card. And that's when they discovered his name was. During this incident, Charlotte PD had absolutely no idea that this person had allegedly just killed somebody.
Donald Hodges is still on the run, and authorities need your help to track him down. Now, he's 6'6", 273 pounds, with a muscular build. He's bald, has brown eyes, and typically sports a beard. Hodges has distinctive tattoos, including an OG on his chest. Now, coming up, investigators discover the way this scumbag might be getting help while he's on the run by using dating apps. This guy could be lurking in somebody's inbox right now. But before the break, we need your help solving this case. The nationwide manhunt rages on for a Texas man accused of opening fire at a popular sports bar, injuring 3 people. It all allegedly began when 48-year-old Larice Evans, seen here in green, gets into a fight with not 1, not 2, but 3 security guards. A few hours later, Evans returns, now dressed in all black, but this time he's armed. The suspect fires 6 shots at close range, striking 3 people, including a security guard. When an off-duty deputy attempts to intervene, Evans allegedly turns and fires back, thankfully missing. Luckily, all 3 gunshot victims survived. Larice Evans is 6 feet tall, weighing 180 pounds. He has distinctive tattoos, including 2 on his forearms, 1 reading Hood, and the other Rich. If you have any information about him, call us or go to our site. Let's get these dirtbags. Welcome back. When Charlotte Mecklenburg police responded to a disturbance at a hotel, they didn't realize they were staring down a violent suspect, Donald Hodges, a man who allegedly killed his wife just hours earlier. Now this dirtbag, who's facing first-degree murder charges, is on the run.
And investigators have uncovered how Hodges might be staying one step ahead by using dating apps.
When law enforcement entered a hotel in Charlotte, they discovered Donald Hodges.
I feel like I'm about to pass out.
He told the first responders that he wasn't sober and wanted help. He was escorted to an ambulance and taken to Atrium Medical Center. Well, it wasn't long, and he decided that he was going to leave.
After a month of no leads, Conover Police Department believed Hodges had fled the area. So they contacted the U.S. Marshals Service to assist with the case.
As we started looking into Donald Hodges' life, we did uncover several dating websites that he had used before the homicide. Some of the dating profiles are known gay sites, so we know that he had almost like a chameleon effect, where he could blend in and meet people, make new friends very easily, and he used that to his advantage to take advantage of other people. As part of our investigation, we interviewed Hodges' previous girlfriend. We learned that during their relationship, he was abusive.
There were 2 sides to Donald. He was sweet, genuine, caring, loving guy. He paid my bills, he cooked, he cleaned, and then he'll turn into a demon. He strangled me, putting knives to my throat, telling me that if I ever tell anybody, I would never see my children again.
After ending the relationship in July of 2019, Monique placed a protective order against Donald, where she detailed his heinous abuse. While in court, Monique came face to face with the new woman in Donald's life, Tanika.
The last and final court date, I went to her and I shook her hand. She shook my hand extremely hard and placed her other hand on top of it. And she just stared, and then she let my hand go, and that was it. It was as if she was saying, I know exactly what you were going through. Donald is pure evil. Bringing Donald to justice would be everything to me.
He need to pay for what he did. It would take all this pain away, all of it.
Tanika meant everything to me, just for her, and to know that we didn't give up.
Someone knows Donald Hodges. Someone has seen him. Someone is engaged with him. We did uncover that Donald Hodges was not active on any of his known dating profiles after Tanika's murder.
But we believe that Donald Hodges is still using dating websites to meet both men and women.
Possibly using a catfish method where he posts someone else's picture to his profile in order to evade capture.
We need the public to be vigilant because he is dangerous and he is out there.
We're joined now by Neve Schulman, an expert on people who misrepresent themselves in online relationships. In fact, he documented his own experience of being deceived online that led to the hit TV show Catfish. With your expertise and knowledge in social media, why do you think Hodges is allegedly using these dating apps to stay on the run?
Social media provides a perfect landscape for him to not only make new connections in any city or town he might choose to go to, but also establish emotional connections with people to then prey on their vulnerability and get them to help him out. So we know that Hodges is very good at winning people over. And unfortunately for Tanika, she learned the hard way that he can't be trusted.
What are some of the red flags that you've seen where people make connections to people they don't really know?
Let's start with something called love bombing. Oftentimes in new online relationships, people will very quickly give a lot of attention to this person in an effort to really get them to fall in love with them. Conversely, if someone's avoiding meeting up or talking on the phone or FaceTiming for too long, that's also a red flag.
Right.
What happened with me was I met a family through MySpace, ended up developing a romantic interest in the older sister. What we discovered was that the 14 different profiles with whom I'd been speaking were actually all the creation of one woman.
All 14?
Yeah. She had created this entire world to communicate with me and escape her reality. People who are looking to get your sympathy and attention will come up with big stories about how they're sick. They get you to then feel sorry for them, and oftentimes that then leads to money, which is the last big red flag. Once they see that you're willing to send money, then they start asking for more, and the asks get bigger.
Sort of testing the waters with these low sums. The next thing you know, it's a few $1,000s.
And if you say no, you probably won't hear from them again. But if you say yes, they'll just keep coming back.
If someone sees Hodges, what should they do?
They should report on the platform the profile in question.
If see something, say something, doesn't it just apply to the real world?
No, yeah, absolutely. Online, it's really important that if you do see something suspicious, you report it.
Great advice. Appreciate you being here.
Thanks
a bunch. Hodges is on the move. Let's take a closer look. It starts in Conover, North Carolina, where he allegedly murdered his wife. Hodges may have moved north to Philly, where he has family. And there's New York City. Hodges reportedly brags about being from there and has family in that area as well. Take a look at him. Donald Hodges is 6'6", 273 pounds with a muscular build. He's bald, has brown eyes, and typically sports a beard. U.S. Marshals are offering a reward of up to $10,000 for information leading to his arrest and conviction. If you spot him, call us at 1-866-AMW-TIPS or go to amwtips.com.
Coming up, an important update on a case we brought you 4 years ago involving a missing girl, a mother on the run, and a grieving father desperate for answers. You don't want to miss what's next. Welcome back. Elizabeth Smart. You know her as a child abduction survivor. She was taken in 2002, held for 9 long months, and then went on to testify against her captors, which led to their convictions. Well, she's here to help us with a major break in a case we started tracking 4 years ago. It's a case that has haunted a father for years. His daughter, McKenna Butcher, was just 11 years old when she vanished, allegedly taken by a person meant to protect her, her mother.
The mother, Jennifer Settle, allegedly defied a judge's custody ruling, then disappeared without a trace, leaving McKenna's father desperate for answers.
Jennifer and I first met in 2005. We hit it off very well. She knew what she wanted in life, and we both agreed we'd like about 3 children if we could. So eventually we get married.
He adored her. This was his first marriage, and he had waited his whole life for her.
Jennifer got pregnant with McKenna very early. I love children, so we were both very happy. But after a few months, she started to change mentally.
She was very jealous and possessive. Jennifer insisted that Michael distance himself from any other female in his life.
A lot of these things are just not normal behavior, but you get sucked in because you try to do things to keep her happy. When McKenna came along, Jennifer was very protective.
Jennifer was very controlling. If she needed to hand something to McKenna, she would not allow me to do that. She insisted that McKenna must see it coming from her hand.
In 2008, when McKenna is only 8 months old, Jennifer separates from Michael and takes McKenna to live in Greenville, South Carolina.
I received a phone call from Jennifer announcing that she was moving herself and McKenna back to her parents in Greenville because we were running out of money and I had done nothing to provide for the family.
Jennifer convinced us that he was a danger to both her and McKenna.
She had to paint a picture of me as being abusive, as being manipulating, as being a liar. This gave her the excuse of why she'd undertaken the actions that she had.
She took McKenna and ran.
She didn't want any child support because she said, no way, because that makes it so that he can come see her. He can get visitation.
She would not allow her child to go to school. McKenna was not allowed to have any other friends. Her mother was her only friend.
She stopped communicating with me so I could have no interaction with my daughter.
8 years passed before Michael was able to arrange supervised visits with McKenna. But to keep them, in 2019, he went to the authorities for help.
Michael took Jennifer to court because he wanted to see his daughter. He was eventually granted visitation rights, but Jennifer was not going to have that. The court determined that Jennifer was an unfit parent for McKenna. The judge was going to give total custody to Michael.
Jennifer had failed to show up at the court hearing. Based on that, an arrest warrant was issued by the family court.
Jennifer has torn our family apart. She took McKenna away from all of us.
It's been years now since I've seen my daughter. McKenna doesn't know that she's been brainwashed and mentally abused all these years, and I wanted to protect her from that. I've lost a child, and she's going to come back now as an adult. I'll never, never held her hand or helped her across the road or, done all the things that dads do.
She's not had a normal life, and she's been cheated out of so many rich relationships. It's been heartbreaking.
I just want to see my daughter again.
Here to talk about the new lead and what it could mean in this heartbreaking case is someone who knows firsthand the horror of a child abduction, Elizabeth Smart. Beautiful lady, it's always great to see you. I always say the same thing, you're the bravest woman I ever met. And you helped bring back 2 kids last year.
Like, how amazing is it that we got to be a part of that? Camilla and Luisito were both found, and isn't that the miracle that we hope happens for every family who comes on this show?
Well, you were such a wonderful help and great working with you, but this is a heartbreaking case. How might Jennifer be keeping McKenna under wraps and under her control?
It is her mother, first off. I mean, I think as a child, you just naturally have faith and trust in your parents right from the get-go. I think of my own case, my captors controlled me within a matter of months. And if she has been homeschooling her and really grooming her all of this time, she's had a lifetime to control her.
McKenna is 17 now, but it's going to be harder to control this girl, don't you think?
Absolutely, I think it's going to be harder. If McKenna has a strong bond with her father and she remembers her father in a positive light, she remembers him being there for her, loving her, protecting her, I think those memories will win out.
Right. It's a big search for this mother. How do you think she's staying out there so long?
So she does have marketable skills. She could work on cars. She has ability in construction.
And we learned that they were into horses beforehand.
Maybe that's one of her controls over McKenna is, I'm going to buy you this horse, but I need to make sure you're following the rules.
She could be working on a ranch to afford those horses. So we want people in the horse world to take a good look at this mother.
She's also very capable at manipulating other people's emotions, so it could be through boyfriends, intimate partners. It could also be through church.
She could be that poor, downtrodden mother with a child.
Exactly.
If McKenna's watching now, doesn't really know she's missing or anything, what would you tell her?
I hope she knows that there is millions of people who are looking for her and want to see her come home, want to see her in her rightful place. Everyone who watches this show, I hope they will take action if they see something suspicious. Miracles happen every day. Why not today?
Why not today? Cal.
The images we have of McKenna are back from when she was a child. McKenna would be 17 now, so take a good look at this new age progression of what she may look like today. We know she has blue eyes and brown hair. She was allegedly taken by her mother, Jennifer Settle, from Taylor, South Carolina in 2019. She has family in Greenville, South Carolina, but as we've just learned, she sold her vehicle to a man in a rural area outside Bozeman, Montana, so she could be living there with McKenna in that area. Settle has also lived in Tennessee, Colorado, and New Mexico, and has contacts in Maryland. Back to you, Dad.
Elizabeth, we're going to be seeing a lot more of you because we've got exciting news we want to share with you right now. Our mission just got a whole lot bigger. We're adding a brand new show to the AMW family. It all starts next week, right here on Fox. Take a look.
There is absolutely still hope that he's out there, that he's alive.
America's Most Wanted, Missing Persons, is coming next week.
Do you think it's a possibility she doesn't even know that she's a missing child?
And we need your help to bring the missing home to their loved ones.
That's why we're doing this. If we can help one family, it might make sense of it.
Next Monday on Fox at 8/7 Central, before an all-new America's Most Wanted.
There's somebody out there that needs to be asked some hard questions.
We'll be right back. Let's recap some of our cases and the fugitives who need to be caught. Joseph Matos, or as he calls himself, Troubles, has tattoos that literally spell out Most Wanted. The FBI is offering up to $25,000 for the tip that puts him behind bars.
Donald Hodges, this oversized lowlife, is 6'6", 273 pounds, and allegedly is using his charm and possibly dating apps to manipulate people into giving him shelter and money. He also has distinctive tattoos, including OG on his chest. U.S. Marshals are offering a reward of up to $10,000 for information leading to his arrest and conviction.
And finally, take another good look at this age progression of McKenna Butcher. She would be 17 years old today. She has blue eyes, brown hair, and was last seen in South Carolina in 2019 when her mother, Jennifer, allegedly took her and vanished. We've now learned Jennifer sold her vehicle to a man outside Bozeman, Montana.
If you have any information, don't wait. Call 1-866-AMW-TIPS or visit amwtips.com.
Now, before we go, let's take a quick look ahead to next week and a fugitive we're hunting for. It was a brutal crime with a fiery end. A woman is found dead in her apartment, but the flames can't hide the truth. Now the hunt is on for her boyfriend, who allegedly turned their romance into a deadly nightmare.
Thank you for watching. I'm Callahan Walsh. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.
And I'm John Walsh. Remember, you can make a difference. This dirtbag's a real bad guy. He's got to go down.
Let's do it.
I'm John Walsh, and I've dedicated my entire life to locking up the worst criminals.
We're tracking down one of the most ruthless gangs of lawbreakers we've ever gone after.
My son Callahan and I are fired up. With your help, we're coming for fugitives, hunting them down, and putting them right where they belong, behind bars, including these that you'll see tonight. First, she called for help, but within 24 hours, she was gone. A young mother of 4 shot to death in her own home. Now the manhunt is on for her husband, veteran Aaron Pennington. Then, he was a butcher, a master of the craft, but police say his talent with a knife took a terrifying turn. We're on the hunt for Renato Yedra Braceno. Finally, a ruthless crew of thieves stalking celebrities online and ransacking their homes for luxury loot. Tonight, Atlanta's own Lil Jon is in studio with us to help break down a dangerous bling ring and catch the one who got away, Karwan Mohammed. America's Most Wanted is the original true crime series, and we're back. You can run, but you can't hide. Hello, I'm John Walsh, and this is America's Most Wanted. Tonight, we're back on the hunt for the most dangerous fugitives wherever they're hiding.
And I'm Callahan Walsh. We just kicked off a brand new season, and the pursuit of justice is already in full swing.
We're fired up as ever, bringing you a new lineup of cases in the search for low-life fugitives, including one from a notorious Atlanta area crime ring. Stepping in to join the fight tonight, we've got a special guest, Grammy-winning rapper and born and raised in Atlanta, Lil Jon. He's here to help us break down this case in his hometown.
It's a team effort at AMW. Alongside our investigators, we have the FBI, U.S. Marshals, and local and state police all standing by. But you continue to be our greatest partner. Since 1988, your tips have helped us nab 1,198 suspected criminals. And remember, when you call or go to our website, your identity will be protected.
Every tip, every second counts, because no matter how far fugitives run, one thing is certain. You can run, but you can't hide. Let's settle up.
Our first case is a heartbreaking reminder that domestic violence can often be a race against time.
It's been nearly 2 years since a devoted mother of 4 was brutally murdered at her home in Gardner, Massachusetts. What makes this case so tragic is that Breezy Pennington, just before her death, reportedly called police to tell them she was having trouble in her marriage and that she feared for her safety. Now her husband, Aaron Pennington, the prime suspect in her murder, is on the run.
Is he considered a suspect or a person of interest?
He's considered armed and dangerous and a person that we want to find.
This is one of the strangest cases for a nice town like Gardner. It was shocking.
They were so good at masking, it was hard to tell that there was all this chaos going on behind the scenes.
She was going to take the kids and bring them down to Texas. She ran out of time.
She was beautiful, and she loved her children, and she didn't deserve to die. My niece Brianne came into this world so loved, and she just loved running on her horse with that long blonde hair blowing in the wind. So we called her Breezy, and Breezy was very active in our church. In 2012 at church, this tall blonde boy walks in, and Brianne said, "That one is mine." His name was Aaron Pennington.
And just 7 months later, 20-year-old Breezy and 22-year-old Aaron were married in the Mormon church.
After their first child was born, Aaron decided to join the Air Force. They were stationed in Okinawa, Japan. They had 2 more children, and in the early years, they were so happy. But I do believe in Okinawa was the start of some trouble for them. Aaron was really struggling at this point. You know, there was depression. He was never that military type of man's man.
In 2021, Aaron was discharged from the Air Force and transitioned back to civilian life.
He obtained a job with a defense contractor in Massachusetts. They found a new church community.
I got to know the Penningtons when they moved into the area as they attended our church. Aaron mentioned to me that depression ran in his family. During our conversations, there was a darkness. He spent all the time talking to me about his worries and his anxieties. He was just worried because his wife was into tarot cards and getting tattoos. Those aren't necessarily bad, but they were separating her from the religion. He worked at a few different jobs, but then he wasn't taking care of himself mentally and physically, and so he quit those jobs.
The bills were coming in and not being paid. There was a lot of fighting.
The Gardner police logged a number of incidences at the Pennington house. They ranged from Aaron acting erratically to Brianne's concerns for his mental health.
Brianne had decided that she was leaving.
You're staying here. We're staying here.
The marriage was over.
In early October of 2023, Aaron went to visit family in California.
He was obsessively calling, texting. He wanted her to take him back. That was never going to happen. She left messages with a friend talking about her fear and that she had decided to leave and take the children to Texas to be closer to her grandparents. But on October 20th, Aaron was flying home. She was scared that he was just out of his mind, and so she called Gardner police about whether she wanted a restraining order.
Breezy then left a panicked audio message for a friend.
I've told Aaron 1,000,000 times, do not show up here. You need to get help. I do not feel safe. You're not welcome.
A little more than 24 hours later, and she was dead.
Gardner 911. My neighbor's kids have come over to my house scared. They don't know where their dad is, and they're trying to get a hold of their mom. They can't get into her bedroom.
I got a call. One of the neighbors next door to the Penningtons said that the children had showed up on the doorstep. We then go in the house asking, Breezy, where are you? Is anyone here? Breezy? So we just try the door, and the knob turns, but there was a dresser right there. I remember seeing Breezy laying in the bed with her head facing away.
There's a woman in the bed. She's hurt. Okay. I'm not sure exactly how hurt, but there's blood. Hold on 1 second.
It was a violent scene. It appeared to be an execution. My first question was, where is Aaron Pennington?
Aaron Pennington is 34 years old, has blonde hair, blue eyes, is 6 feet 2 inches tall, and weighs about 175 pounds. He's an Air Force veteran and a skilled mechanic, so it's possible he could be working in aviation or automotive repair. He was also a member of the Church of Latter-day Saints. So there's two communities, veterans and members of the Mormon Church, and it's possible folks in these groups could be helping him out. If you recognize this fugitive, don't approach him. Pennington is considered armed and dangerous. Call 1-866-AMW-TIPS or go to amwtips.com.
Coming up, police uncover a smoking gun and trace the final steps of Aaron Pennington. And later, authorities accuse a butcher of brutally murdering his girlfriend, then setting her apartment on fire to cover up his crime. Plus, a ruthless gang uses social media to target celebrities and rob their homes, terrorizing the community. Atlanta's own Lil Jon helps us dig into this wild story. But first, we need your tips to help us close this case. Take a good look. The year-long manhunt continues for Jonathan Baez Perez, who's wanted for allegedly shooting a man 9 times at the Carniceria La Tuna Market in Enid, Oklahoma. Police say the confrontation began when Baez Perez, seen in white, approached Cesar Gomez outside this grocery store. Their argument quickly escalated until a friend stepped in to break up the fight. But the beef isn't over as Baez Perez returns to his vehicle. Still upset, Gomez approaches and kicks the car door, which is flung open as Baez Perez allegedly opens fire from the passenger seat, hitting Gomez in the hand and torso. Watch as Baez Perez makes his escape behind the vehicle as Gomez clutches his gunshot wounds. Luckily, Gomez survived. Baez Perez is 24 years old, 5 foot 6 inches tall, weighing 140 pounds. Authorities say he has a prior felony gun conviction and may have fled to his home state of Jalisco, Mexico, and they're offering a $5,000 reward for his capture. If you recognize him, contact us immediately. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Authorities are searching for Aaron Pennington, the man they suspect of murdering his own wife, Breezy, just as she was preparing to leave him. As investigators dig deeper, they uncover a disturbing relationship and a chilling call for help.
My brother called me. He said Breezy's been murdered, and I had to have him repeat it 3 times. She was in the safety of her own bed.
It appeared that Aaron Pennington had barricaded the door to the bedroom, had allegedly killed his wife, Brianne Pennington, exited the house by jumping out of a second-floor window. And now he was nowhere to be found. We didn't find a gun at the scene, but we did find Aaron's cell phone.
That cell phone contained a note that Aaron apparently wrote to himself.
Don't say anything. Be quiet. If she wakes up, just say you're getting nasal spray. Get on side of bed, very close proximity to head. Put hole in her head. And that is the smoking gun.
We are currently looking for Aaron Pennington. He is considered to be armed and dangerous. He is driving a white BMW.
Surveillance video from a house across the street showed Aaron Pennington's white BMW leaving their residence at about 8:50 in the morning.
Monday, October 23rd, Aaron's vehicle was located at Camp Collier in Gardner. A hunter found the vehicle. It appears that the car got stuck. It's not really an area that you would drive to. Suspicious. Literally, it feels like he just disappeared.
I felt like I was trying to help him and that my efforts fell on their face. I felt betrayed. It was hard to reckon with. I never knew if I even talked to the real Aaron. If Aaron's still out there, I would encourage him to turn himself in.
I know he's out there. I know he is. I think about Breezy every single day. I want to kiss her cheeks and tell her I'm so sorry. I will never stop loving you. There's nothing you will ever, ever change how much I love you.
Folks in the military, even veterans, can have complicated issues in their family lives. So we wanted to talk to someone who had firsthand insight into that world. Josh White is a veteran, a podcaster, and an influential voice in the Air Force community. Josh, thanks for being here.
Sir, it is my honor. From one veteran who serves this country to another, I want to thank you, sir. When folks like me are deployed, we know our families are safe because we have someone like you out there watching over us.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the kind words, and thank you for your service. Aaron Pennington, he was an airman, you're an airman.
Yes, sir.
How do you compare your service with his?
So with Aaron's service, the biggest overlap is probably the fact that we both worked on the Kadena Air Base flight line in Okinawa, Japan. With that comes 12-hour shifts.
Right.
You have to be alert at all times, your attention to detail at an all-time high with zero room for error.
The stress of being in another country. My dad, who was my hero, 15 medals in World War II, was stationed on Okinawa. He flew a B-24, almost shot down several times. Returning to civilian life is tough, isn't it?
Being away from your family, being overseas, especially being a young, newer airman. I was always warned of the culture shock of going to Japan, going to another country. But I'll tell you, the culture shock was actually the return back to the United States. It kind of felt like I had to, keep looking over my shoulder. There was a sense of unease.
There's so much traumatic stress syndrome these days. And his wife was pulling away from the Mormon church. That probably added to the stress.
If you are not mentally prepared, emotionally prepared for something like that, it can certainly catch you off guard.
Looking at this case, what do you think could have been done differently?
With Aaron specifically, those red flags were probably there for many years. People probably saw them over and over again. And unfortunately, he did not have the intervention he needed at the time. When we see those red flags and we ignore them and say, they'll figure it out, they'll get better, it's not the right answer.
No.
I think we need to normalize asking for help.
What if he was watching tonight?
I'd say, Aaron, I've been in your shoes. I know firsthand the pressure and the anxiety that comes with a mission like that. I understand what it's like to be a father and a husband and to feel the pressure of supporting them. But I also understand that he joined with the values that all airmen join with. Integrity first, service before self, excellence in all we do.
Right.
And I know at some point in his life, those meant something to him. So I would tell him to tap back into that.
I couldn't agree with you more. Want to thank you for all the kind words. Thank you for your service.
Thank you, sir.
Let's take another look at Aaron Pennington. He's 34 years old, has blonde hair, blue eyes, is about 6 feet 2 inches tall, and weighs about 175 pounds. Pennington has been on the run for over a year, and he's left quite a trail behind him. His wife, Breezy, was found dead in their Gardner, Massachusetts home in 2023. The following day, police found the car they believe Pennington was driving at a nearby campground. A search there and at a nearby lake turned up no sign of him. Pennington also has ties to Southern California, specifically the Inland Empire, where his father lives. We also know Aaron was a faithful member of the Church of Latter-day Saints, so it's worth mentioning he could be hiding where there's a large Mormon community like Salt Lake City. If you've seen someone who fits the description, be very cautious. Pennington is considered armed and dangerous.
Coming up, she thought she knew the guy she was dating, an award-winning butcher. But police claim his talent turned deadly. Then, an Atlanta area gang uses social media to track celebrities and rob their homes. To help us out, Atlanta's own Lil Jon will join us. But first, we need your help with this case. Authorities in Washington state are looking for this woman, Seattle's serial bank robber. She's connected to at least 6 bank robberies in 6 months and accused of stealing thousands of dollars from banks all over Seattle. This first heist was at a U.S. bank where she passes a note demanding money. The teller hands her hundreds of dollars and she calmly leaves the bank. Here she is on January 3rd, 2025, this time at a Home Street bank, passing a similar note to a bank teller. She walks away with a stack of cash, seen here in the bank's parking lot. Then, just last month, she robs another Home Street bank, but this time she flashes a gun at the teller. The suspect is described as an Asian female, 20 years old, 5 foot 4 inches tall. If you're in the Seattle area and recognize her, call us now. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This next case is about a butcher who won recognition in meat-cutting competitions all around the world. He had the awards, the reputation, and by all accounts, an incredible girlfriend. But it was a love story that would turn deadly.
Veronica was fun. She was young and free, and you can tell that she will always be surrounded by friends and family. Me and Veronica have been always very close. We grew up in Italy. Because Veronica was older than me, she wanted to protect me. It was 2 of us against the world.
In 2012, Hillary moved to the North Beach section of San Francisco, where her sister Veronica would join her 2 years later.
North Beach, it's the Italian area of San Francisco. Lots of Italian restaurants, bar, you can drink a coffee like Italians do. Veronica and Hillary, they were definitely best friends. We saw each other every day, I would say, yes.
When I had my son Gabriele, Veronica immediately fell in love with him. She wanted to be in his life.
Happy birthday to you.
Bye. Ciao, belly. Bye. Veronica and my husband both ended up working at the butcher shop, and there was a man there. He was always in charge to cut the meat. He was a shy person, not someone that would initiate a conversation.
Renato Yedra Braceno was living in San Francisco after a childhood spent learning the butcher trade in Mexico City. He won several prestigious butchery contests, even representing Mexico in butcher competitions.
Veronica and Renato started dating, but they were trying to keep their relationship low profile.
Honestly, I didn't like him very much. He was distant. About a year into their relationship, they had a fight. Renato got very jealous that my sister got this text from an old friend. She didn't like his reaction.
We didn't socialize with Renato and Veronica. They only came once. It was a Christmas Day. Renato and Veronica were having some issues, definitely some tension, for sure.
About a week later, she came over to our house on New Year's Eve. I was very pregnant at that time, and there was something off.
She was trying to hide it from her sister. But then later she started telling me things that we didn't know until that. She got pregnant. Then she lost the baby. She was worried about Renato being upset. I'd get a feeling that she was scared of them at that time.
She never told me because I was pregnant and because she didn't want to put stress on me and being worried.
Just 2 weeks later, Hillary went into labor with her second child.
My contractions started at 2 a.m. Veronica was supposed to come to stay with Gabriele home while we were going to the hospital.
We start calling Veronica, and we didn't get any answer. We need to figure out something else, and then we head to the hospital. At 8 a.m. in the morning, Hillary was getting ready to have the baby, and I have this phone call. On the other side was Veronica's neighbor telling me that something happened very bad to Veronica. He told me the apartment was on fire. And he told me Veronica's dead.
The fire department arrived on scene at 8 in the morning. They observed a female on the ground, burnt to a crisp. She had a gash or slice almost from ear to ear across her neck. They could immediately recognize this was likely a homicide.
Not only did this scumbag allegedly take the life of Veronica Donito, the fire put an entire apartment building filled with occupants at risk. We're talking about an alleged murder and arson. Please, we need your help to locate Yedra Braceno, the prime suspect. Take a good look. Yedra Braceno is 40 years old, a Latino male. He usually wears his hair in a ponytail, but he may cut it shorter to alter his appearance. He also has a distinctive peak in his hairline and his left ear is pierced. And check out these renderings of Braceno's tattoos, created by the U.S. Marshal Service for America's Most Wanted. He has a DF on the left side of his chest, and his entire back is covered with a large angel skeleton.
Coming up, the trail of evidence and surveillance video leads police to their #1 suspect. Plus, a string of home invasions and burglaries has an Atlanta community on edge. But first, we need your help solving this case. Authorities in Houston are on the lookout for this man, accused of brazenly robbing 2 local businesses in a matter of minutes. First, at the Lucky convenience store in the 8900 block of South Braeswood Boulevard, the suspect demands money. It appears he has his hand in his waistband, possibly to signal a threat that he has a weapon. Watch as the suspect grabs the register and opens it himself, while the cashier tries to stop him from grabbing hundreds of dollars in cash. Money in hand, he leaves to his next heist. 5 minutes later, and a half a mile away, this scumbag then attempts to rob a grocery store. But this time, the clerk doesn't give him a dime. He exits the store empty-handed, but luckily surveillance cameras catch his face. Take a look. The suspect is a white male, early 40s. He was seen wearing a gray shirt, orange shorts with a Texas Longhorn logo on the bottom left, and a Texas A&M Aggies gray hat. He could be using a beard as a disguise. If you recognize this man, send us your tips. And remember, you can make a difference. Welcome back to America's Most Wanted. Veronica Donito's life was cut short in a savage attack. Her family was shattered. As if her loss wasn't painful enough, they got the devastating news on a day that should have been one of the happiest of their lives.
On Friday, January 15th of 2021, officers received a report of a structure fire. Fire department observed a female with a large gash across her neck. One of the neighbors informed the detectives that There was conversation taking place. They were familiar with the voice as being Renato, the boyfriend of the victim. At that point, Renato became a possible suspect in this homicide.
I had Maya, so I turned to Mariano, and he had this very, very worried face. So in that moment, it was like, something's wrong.
At that time, I was really in shock. I don't know what to do. And then I just, you know, tell Hillary that Veronica was just not with us anymore.
I was holding my brand new daughter, Maya, when Mariano told me that my sister was killed. And I don't think I realized it like right away. And they took the baby away from me. And then I don't remember much after that.
In this investigation of the homicide, cell phone records showed Renato at the scene of the crime within the time frame of we believe when it happened. An ignitable liquid was found within the carpet around the body, which detectives believe to be gasoline. Video surveillance from the local gas station revealed Renato purchased a red gas canister approximately a half hour before the 911 call from dispatch. Cell phone records showed he traveled to Crocker Amazon Park, where we located a vehicle in which we observed a red gas canister along with a large butcher knife, which revealed DNA belonging to the victim. Renato was observed enter a nearby vehicle, which belonged to an uncle. Renato and his uncle drove from Daly City to the U.S.-Mexico border on the same day of the homicide.
I think about her every day, and there's so much in my daughter that reminds me of her. Renato took so much away from me. You don't want people like this to be out on the street.
The way that he did all these things, I don't think he deserved to. Being free, you need to have justice.
It's just not right. Having to remember every single birthday of my daughter, it's too much. Sorry.
To help us understand what motivated this fugitive is Dr. Leslie Dobson, a forensic psychologist and podcaster who spent nearly 2 decades analyzing the minds of some very violent people. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
As a forensic psychologist, what do you think's going on?
I definitely think he shows this callous nature. The way that he killed her, cutting her neck, is so graphic and horrifying that you have to be detached from your emotions.
Right, a sociopath, but incompetent.
I think he was in panic mode.
Yeah.
And then, as you can see in the video, he actually buys gasoline to bring back to her apartment to burn the apartment down and hide the crime scene.
But he returned to the crime scene, which shows that the arson wasn't premeditated.
Yes, there was anger, and he wanted to cover his tracks. Yeah. This wasn't planned out, because the police still find her, and they can identify her. So I'm thinking this individual is very impulsive.
Yeah, you know as well as I do how dangerous he is.
100%.
Do you think he's been carrying on his career while he's been on the run?
I think he identifies as a butcher. He has awards of being such a great butcher and very comfortable with knives.
And we heard that he's got family in the restaurant business in Mexico.
Yes, so he'd be in the back of a restaurant. He would be in the back of some place in charge of the meat, but still using his skill set in some way.
So I say to people all the time, if you're eating in a restaurant, just keep your eyes open.
Yeah.
People were sitting in a restaurant, an Irish pub, watching America's Most Wanted. We had profiled the guy that was working in a kitchen in a restaurant, and they made the call to us and to 911, and he got captured.
It's amazing.
So we need to tell people to be on the lookout.
Yes.
If you could talk to him for 2 seconds, what would you say?
A little girl's birthday will forever be associated with this alleged crime. Turn yourself in. Give them emotional justice.
I know very much. I've walked in the shoes of that family waiting for justice.
Right? It's called ambiguous grief, where we lose a limb, but we still feel like it's there. We lose a family member, but we don't know who did it exactly. We want justice, and then we can grieve.
End some of the pain of this family.
Yes.
Well, thank you for all the great advice. Thanks for being here. And hopefully something you said will get somebody to make that call. Thank you. Cal.
Let's take a look at the trail investigators are following. After the fire was extinguished, the body of Veronica Donito was discovered in her apartment in Daly City, California. Shortly after, the suspect's phone connected to a cell tower in San Francisco, where investigators later located his abandoned car. Then, investigators tracked a family member driving Yedra Braceno across the border into Mexico, where he reportedly has family in Mexico City, some who work in the restaurant business. Authorities say he may have connections in Alabama as well. Veronica's family is desperate for answers and for justice. If you have any information on Yedra Braceno's whereabouts, call 1-866-AMW-TIPS or go to our site, amwtips.com.
Coming up, an Atlanta gang used social media to stalk and rob wealthy celebrities. Now, one of the lowlifes in this criminal posse is still out there. To help us unpack this case, rapper, Grammy-winning icon Lil Jon will join us right here. So stay with us. We'll be back after the break. Welcome back to America's Most Wanted. It was a high-stakes crime spree in one of Atlanta's wealthiest neighborhoods. Celebrities targeted, homes ransacked, luxury items stolen, and one innocent victim shot. Law enforcement took down most of this dangerous bling ring, but one of these dirtbags is still out there. We'll talk about all this with rapper Lil Jon in a moment. But first, take a look.
Sandy Springs is generally one of the more affluent, nicer places to live inside of the greater Atlanta area. Celebrities, athletes, when they're looking to put down roots in Atlanta, Sandy Springs is one of the top places they'll go.
Here in Sandy Springs, from 2021 to 2022, we noticed an uptick in home invasions.
Authorities learned the burglaries were all tied to a group of violent criminals known as the Drug Rich Gang.
These criminals, they did their homework.
This group would monitor social media pages for their targets, seeing whether or not somebody was home.
In July of 2022, the gang hit Real Housewives of Atlanta star Marlo Hampton's house while she was vacationing in Toronto. And the gang didn't stop there. After singer Mariah Carey posted pictures to social media, the drug-rich gang broke into her multi-million-dollar home in Sandy Springs, stealing some of her most prized possessions.
They took a Kobe Bryant jersey, custom microphone, designer clothing. The value of items taken from Mariah Carey was over $1 million.
As the gang continued terrorizing the city, 1 month later, they targeted another house.
Multiple individuals that are armed, wearing ski masks, kick the door in.
But this time, things turned violent. Surprised to find a house sitter, these lowlifes shot the person, then fled in a panic. Luckily, the victim in that home survived. But as for the thieves, their luck was running out.
With the help of surveillance cameras, we were able to get the license plate number off the suspect vehicle.
That is when the dominoes started to fall. One of the men that was in the car, we started to question him.
That scumbag rolled on his cold conspirators. And that's when police learned the gang's alleged leader was Jeremy Caldwell, a convicted criminal from Atlanta with a rap sheet that included burglary and weapons charges.
Through this investigation, we are able to see they were researching their targets. They were logging on to various real estate websites to see the layout of the home. In my 12 years of prosecution, I have not seen an organization as sophisticated in their planning. But this gang was playing with fire. Even though during the crime, they may be wearing ski masks, they had no problem showing off on social media the items that were taken. That was part of their downfall.
I obtained a source. That source gave me information when a home invasion was going to occur. And through the source, they now were headed to South Florida to hit an NFL player who plays with the Miami Dolphins, and he lives close to the water.
But before their big score, these hoodlums had the bright idea to party on a yacht. As they popped their champagne, little did they know they were about to get popped.
Miami Metro-Dade staked the place out, and they apprehended Mr. Caldwell and one of the stolen watches valued over $100,000.
We ultimately indicted 28 people. The organization itself included dozens more.
The arrest of these highly sophisticated criminals made a dent in the drug-rich gang who stole millions from the peaceful community of Sandy Springs.
Mr. Caldwell had a small army of men that he used to do these home invasions.
And detectives are still on the hunt for a man named Karwan Mohammed, whose car was used in the Mariah Carey home invasion. This is the last piece of the puzzle to put an end to the gang's reign of terror.
We're doing everything to get these criminals arrested and off the street.
We're joined now by a music icon who's synonymous with Atlanta, who helped shape the sound of the city. Beyond music, his influence runs deep by bringing a voice to the most important stories in the community. Lil Jon,
thank you.
Welcome to America's Most Wanted.
Legend! It's great to be here, guys. What's up, brother?
Thanks for being here.
I've been a fan of America's Most Wanted since the very, very beginning. And like for me, I want to understand what makes people think they can get away with this stuff.
Right. Are you familiar with the Sandy Springs area?
Yes, I'm very familiar with pretty much all of Atlanta. I'm born and raised. This is the place you call home, the place you think is safe. You could leave your door unlocked, and now things like this are happening, and you're more alert. And
it was a hell of a wake-up call, wasn't it?
Yes, it is.
Many of the victims probably didn't even realize it, but they're putting out all this information in just a single social media post.
Right. It made us kind of be like, wow, like, okay, I need to watch what I'm posting. Maybe I won't even say where I'm going. And people kind of were really on guard.
I mean, this isn't over. I mean, people are still nervous, aren't they?
People are definitely still nervous because it wasn't just one type of celebrity. It wasn't just a rapper. It was all type athletes, all types of people were targeted in these crimes, and it just kind of put a little fear in the city and not knowing who they were gonna get next.
You know, we've had a pretty good track record, America's Most Wanted. We've caught 1,200 guys in 45 countries. Wow. But what's it gonna take to catch this guy? He's the last one left.
Just think it's just gonna take one brave person to just step up and help to get this guy off the street so this doesn't happen to anyone else again.
Absolutely.
He's probably just had his head down, but eventually they all slip up.
You're right on that. This will be the last guy to catch. You know, you gotta tell me, turn it down for what? What is it? Everybody wants to know what it means.
Turn down for what means like when the party's almost over and someone's like, yeah, are you going home? Go home for what? Or like, stop, slow down for what? No, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna turn it up for more.
We're gonna turn it up, turn the heat up on this guy.
You can run, but you can't hide.
Exactly, brother. Yeah.
Yeah.
Police nabbed almost everyone in this crime ring, but there's one suspect still walking free. Take a good look at Karwan Mohammed. He's 33 years old, 5'7", about 200 pounds. He's bald with brown eyes. He's alleged to be part of these violent Atlanta area home invasions, but he's vanished and covered his trail. Let's help police catch up to him. Call us at 1-866-AMW-TIPS or hit us up on our site at amwtips.com.
Coming up, we'll take another look at the fugitives still on the run, suspects who think they can slip through the cracks. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Let's recap some of our cases and the fugitives we need your help to catch.
Aaron Pennington is 34 years old, has blonde hair, blue eyes, and is 6 foot 2 inches tall, and he weighs about 175 pounds. Now, he was last seen in Gardner, Massachusetts, and is wanted in connection to the murder of his wife, Breezy. We really need your tips to deliver justice to Breezy's family and her 4 children.
Renato Yedra Braceno is 40 years old. Latino male, 5'7" and 170 pounds with black hair and brown eyes. He usually wears his hair in a ponytail, and he has a distinctive peak in his hairline, and his left ear is pierced. These renderings of Briseño's tattoos created by the U.S. Marshals show a D and an F on the left side of his chest, and a skeleton angel on his back. Authorities believe Yedra Briseño is hiding out in Mexico, where he reportedly has family, and he has possible contacts in Alabama. Wherever you live, be on the lookout for this dangerous fugitive.
We also told you about a ruthless crime ring in the Atlanta area and a car that was used in a string of violent home invasions. Tonight, we're on the hunt for the car's owner, Karwan Mohammed. He's 33 years old, 5'7", and about 200 pounds. He's bald with brown eyes. If you have any information, please don't wait. Call 1-866-AMW-TIPS or visit amwtips.com. Now, before we go, a look ahead to next week and a case we urgently need your help solving. It seemed like just another day at a crowded strip mall when a man walked up and fired 6 shots, killing a sanitation worker. Now his family is left without a father, and a fugitive has earned himself a spot on the FBI's 10 Most Wanted list. That's next week on America's Most Wanted.
Thank you for watching tonight. I'm Callahan Walsh. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.
I'm John Walsh, and don't forget, you can make a difference. The FBI really wants our help on this one.
It's going to be a great show.
So let's settle up. I'm John Walsh, and I've dedicated my entire life to locking up the worst criminals.
We're tracking down one of the most ruthless gangs of lawbreakers we've ever gone after.
My son Callahan and I are fired up. With your help, we're coming for fugitives, hunting them down, and putting them right where they belong, behind bars, including these that you'll see tonight. It was supposed to be an epic day on the water, but a fishing trip turned into a deadly ambush. We need to ID these dangerous suspects on the loose. Then, a hard-working father is gunned down outside a strip mall in broad daylight. Now his accused killer is one of the FBI's 10 Most Wanted. Let's find Omar Cardenas. Later, it was a bold bank heist caught on camera, pulled off by a goon with a gun, nerves of steel, and a plan to disappear. We're on the hunt for a bank robber the FBI calls the Red Hat Guy. And finally, tonight, canine cop Bo the Bloodhound is here. His nose for justice just earned him the honor of Top Dog in America. America's Most Wanted is the original true crime series, and we're back. You can run, but you can't hide. Hello, everyone. I'm John Walsh.
And I'm Callahan Walsh.
And this is America's Most Wanted. The AMW catch counter is at 1,198 thanks to you, but we're not stopping there. Tonight, we've got a whole new lineup of dangerous fugitives that we urgently need your help to take down, including one suspected killer at large, and I mean a large 300-pounder, who's landed on the FBI's 10 Most Wanted list.
Since we started, AMW has helped capture 17 of the FBI's top 10.
We're also on the hunt for a bank robber whose low-key approach has authorities completely baffled. Helping us crack the case is one of the most prolific bank robbers in the whole country, Kane Vincent Dyer, who was arrested after being featured right here on AMW. He'll give us rare insight into how these heists go down.
Remember, when you call us or go to our website, you'll always remain anonymous. But these bad guys, well, they can run, but they can't hide.
All right, let's saddle up and get to work. Our first case comes from Atlantic Beach, North Carolina, a quiet beach town and fisherman's paradise, where the biggest worry is the next big catch, and violent crime is unheard of. But all that changed when what should have been an exciting day on the water became a day of bloodshed.
Randy was the love of my life. We were high school sweethearts together for 44 years, and I thought I was gonna have him forever.
Fine.
Everybody loved Randy, and there was nothing he wouldn't do for me or nothing I wouldn't do for him.
Randy Miller was a very, very special type of person. We both worked for IBM, and Randy retired 2 or 3 years before me. When I retired, we just did everything together. Golf, bike, and all of a sudden he said, I'm going to become the best fisherman in the world. We had huge plans about traveling, and I had the house in Atlantic Beach, so we would come down here and stay 3 or 4 days at my house, and the one thing in August was going for the big reds.
Holy, that's the biggest red I've ever seen.
I might even win the dollar. Good job.
This redfish comes in only late August, early September. So bucket list item, we're coming to my house and we're gonna spend 3 or 4 days hunting for the big reds. The plan was to start at 5 o'clock. I woke up in the morning, went upstairs. Randy is dressed, had breakfast. He's like, you ready? So I quickly said, okay, I need a few minutes. I told him, go ahead and start getting the boat ready.
Randy didn't know it, but he was not alone on the quiet street.
I think around 5:30, I was up, and I was also in the front bedroom, and that's when I heard a really loud distress scream and looked out. There is someone out there standing over top of Randy. Hey! Hey! So I yelled at him. Hey! And that's when the perpetrator ran off. I yelled to my wife, Leslie, and I said, hey, call 911, there's been an attack.
911, what's the emergency? Something terrible's happened. Someone has been attacked outside. I think I'm gonna need to go on out.
I just went running down in my pajamas and end up at Randy's side.
Randy, I'm right here. This is your neighbor, Leslie.
Is there any serious bleeding?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. All right, ma'am, the paramedics are on their way.
Oh, Randy, honey.
As I headed down the stairs, I heard some noise outside, not quite sure what it was. And as I walked out of the garage, I saw Randy. He was laying on the driveway right in front of the boat. I saw some blood, and he slowly was losing his breath and not looking very good. He was conscious, but he didn't describe what was happening to him. His last words to me, I'm not gonna make it, John. And I looked at him and I said, you gotta be kidding, we're gonna be fishing this afternoon. They're gonna take you and, bandage up, and we'll be back on the boat by 6 o'clock tonight. And that was the last I saw of him. It just ripped me apart. It was the worst moment in my life.
It kind of haunts me that I didn't get that final goodbye with Randy. Because most people get to be with their loved one when they pass, but I wasn't with Randy. I wasn't holding his hand to say that you're going to be okay.
S-23, you got the crime scene over there?
My name is Detective Doug Harvey with the Atlantic Beach Police Department, Atlantic Beach, North Carolina. I got to the residence, immediately started getting information from the eyewitnesses. They were able to give me an approximate height and weight of the suspect, dark clothing. Beyond that, there was nothing to go on. But there was 2 houses almost directly across from where John and Randy were staying at. There was a camera. One video, you see 3 suspects walking by. They were breaking into cars, checking door handles, see if the cars were unlocked. But as luck would have it, we did get a video right across the street from John's house. You look closely enough at that corner, you just see that it captured the attack. And you will actually hear Mr. Miller scream.
Cops have been working nonstop trying to figure out who these creeps are. It was dark, and the cameras weren't able to ID them, but a 911 caller spotted a black male running from the scene. Someone out there knows the identities of these 3 fugitives, and your tip could blow this case wide open. The North Carolina State Bureau of Investigations is offering a $75,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and convictions of these alleged killers.
Coming up, a major break in the murder of Randy Miller, thanks to a surprising connection to another alleged murder case. Then, an innocent father is executed outside a busy strip mall. Now, the ruthless gang member who fired the shots is on the run. Let's bring this dirtbag in. And later, he looked like your average customer until he said, "I'm ready to die. Give me all the money." It's a gutsy bank heist, and the whole thing caught on camera. But first, we need your help finding these lowlifes. Please take a good look. It's a terrifying scene in Chicago, Illinois. Pumping gas takes a deadly turn when two suspects open fire, killing a man in broad daylight. It all began when the suspect's blue Nissan pulled into a BP gas station on South Morgan Street on Chicago's South Side. Suspect 1 enters the store first, openly holding a gun and a cigarette. His accomplice follows closely behind. These two appear to look around, hoping to catch sight of their victim. Moments later, they leave, keeping an eye on the store's exit. Soon after, the victim exits the store, just off camera. That's when the gunfire erupts, striking the victim off camera. Patrons duck for cover. Miraculously, no one else is hit as 22 rounds spray the area. The 32-year-old male victim later died at a nearby hospital. The dramatic aftermath, all caught on camera. The suspects are described as black men, both with a medium build. They were last seen driving a blue Nissan. If you recognize them, call us or go to amwtips.com. We'll be right back. Welcome back to America's Most Wanted. It was a robbery that turned deadly. Randy Miller was ambushed and stabbed while loading his boat up for a fishing trip. Now, authorities say they've uncovered a new clue that could finally crack this case.
911, what's the emergency?
Someone has been attacked outside.
Okay, do you know if any weapons were involved?
Randy was stabbed one time by a very sharp knife, approximately 6 inches long. I believe it was a crime of opportunity. I believe he tried to rob Randy. But there was no robbery. One of the reasons maybe why was because Walker confronted the guy by shouting, "Hey!" And the guy got scared and decided that he was going to take off. We don't usually get these kind of violent crimes in Atlantic Beach, so that's when I called in the SBI.
We wanted to know where these 3 individuals that were on camera, where they went. We were able to collect video surveillance, identify a vehicle of interest.
But with obscured surveillance images, law enforcement was unable to identify the car's license plate. So, with the case at a standstill, the SBI agents took inspiration from another difficult case that had captured the nation's attention just a few years prior.
Brian Koberger, the suspect in a quadruple homicide of 4 college students in Moscow, Idaho, was arrested after investigators connected him to the crime through DNA evidence, cross-reference with ancestry databases, and a white Honda Elantra registered in his name caught on surveillance fleeing the scene.
The SBI agents were able to get the surveillance video to the very same FBI expert who broke the Moscow, Idaho case. Using proprietary software that cross-references a multitude of vehicle design elements with the surveillance footage, the FBI expert identified the car's make and model.
What came back was a 2013 to 2017 Volkswagen CC. And unfortunately, to this day, there have been no significant leads to help solve this case.
I wake up every morning and I relive the experience that happened here. I think if they were able to capture these individuals so that they can never do this to anyone else again, that would give me some level of comfort. It'll never bring Randy back. My life will never be the same. Sue's life will never be the same. But I think I will feel better when they are behind bars.
Now I'm angry. You know, I want these people caught because it's like they get to live their lives. You know, they're not paying the price of what they did. You know, this guy had a choice. He did not give my husband a choice. I mean, it breaks my heart that he's not here.
Joining us now is someone who knows the heartbreak of losing a loved one to a random violent crime, Scarlett Wachter. Her son, General Hospital star Johnny Wachter, was senselessly murdered in May 2024 when he interrupted thieves trying to steal his car. Nice to meet you.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. Sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
We belong to the same horrible club, parents of a murdered child.
Yes, yes.
Tell us what happened to Johnny.
He was getting off his bartending shift and walking to his car with a coworker. The street light was burnt out, it was dark, and when they got to the car, he thought his car was being towed because he saw some people outside their car.
Right.
And he said, hey, you towed my car, and they shot him right there. Just, they could have left, they could have pushed him, they could have done anything.
Cold-blooded murder.
Yes, yes.
So you can relate to the Miller case. Random violent crimes seems like there's no rhyme or reason.
Right.
Except heartbreak.
There's so many similarities. Randy Miller was doing normal, law-abiding citizen things. He was just going to go load his boat to go fishing. He didn't provoke this person. He didn't do anything.
And surveillance video really helped solve your son's case.
Yes, it definitely did. It definitely helped solve Johnny's case. They retraced the steps before and after they murdered Johnny. And it showed, you know, their clothing, where they went, what they did. And you could get a clearer picture of it.
So that surveillance video was key.
In Randy Miller's case, we see there are 3 suspects. We see the vehicle. You see the murder actually happen.
Just don't look at that Ring camera for the day of the crime. Go back. They
That's
might
right.
have been in your neighborhood before.
That's right.
You're a big proponent of that, aren't you?
Yes.
Go back as far as you can. They might have been casing it. They might be driving the same car, and you better get a better facial recognition.
That's exactly right.
That's a good tip for everybody that have been victim of a crime. If there's cameras around there,
send it in.
So when they got caught, how did you feel?
Relief, because I wasn't sure that was going to happen.
Right.
You do feel like you can start to heal. You never get over it. It never goes away.
I walked in your shoes.
Yes.
I know exactly what you're talking about. It took 27 years to solve Adams, my son's murder. Solve his case.
That is just...
27 years of torture, wondering if we're ever going to find out. For me, I think you feel the same way. It's about ending that chapter.
Yes.
Well, you're a very brave lady.
Thank you.
Your son's your angel, like my son is my angel.
That's right.
And thank you for having the guts to come here and talk about this.
I feel that they're going to get caught.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, thanks again for being here.
Sure.
Cal?
Let's find the people responsible for Randy Miller's murder. Be on the lookout for the getaway car, a silver 4-door 2013 to 2017 Volkswagen CC. Authorities haven't been able to identify the suspects from the surveillance video, which is why your voice matters, especially if you were in the Atlantic Beach, North Carolina area in late August 2022. Maybe you've seen that car, or maybe you've heard someone talk. Well, now's the time to speak up. One tip, one phone call could be the key to finally solving this case. Call us at 1-866-AMW-TIPS or go to our site, amwtips.com.
Coming up, a violent gang member sprays a strip mall with bullets and leaves a hard-working father dead on the pavement. We need your help taking one of the FBI's 10 most wanted off the streets. And later, he looks like just a regular guy, but police say this violent bank robber is anything but an average Joe. We need to bring this clown down. But first up, we need your tips to help us with this. A quiet suburban community in Virginia Beach is the scene of an unsuspecting crime. A woman, thinking she's safe sitting parked in her own driveway, is about to find out random acts of violence can happen anywhere. On Fern Ridge Road, 2 unidentified males approach a woman parked in her own driveway. One holding a gun attempts to steal the woman's vehicle. After demanding the victim give them her belongings, the woman begins to kick and scream in an attempt to scare the thieves away. Surprised by her reaction, the suspects disappeared, but these scumbags still remain at large. Do you recognize them? One dressed in a white t-shirt, his face exposed. The other male suspect wearing a face mask and hood. But look at this. Can you make out this logo? If you can, or you recognize these individuals from the Virginia Beach area in September 2024, call us or go online to amwtips.com. You don't want to miss what's next. This year marks 75 years of one of the most powerful crime-fighting tools ever created, the FBI's 10 Most Wanted list. Out of more than 500 fugitives who've made that notorious list, get this, 17 were caught because of you and the tips you gave us right here at America's Most Wanted.
And thank you for your trust. You really make this mission possible. Now let's keep it going. Our next case is about a dirtbag who earned himself a spot on the FBI's 10 Most Wanted.
It was a senseless crime in Los Angeles. A hard-working father had just finished his shift and stopped at a store for a cold drink, something he did nearly every day. And then, without warning, everything changed.
Los Angeles Police Department. I would like to report a hit and run. Some guy just sideswiped a car.
There was an individual who called in a report of a hit and run earlier that day.
Did you happen to see the driver? He was light-skinned with glasses and like 300 pounds. But I'm following the guy because he's just driving all over the...
Stop following the car. Stop following the car, okay? If he figures out that you're following him, he may try and do something.
Later on, outside of a barber shop, the driver was someone who allegedly shot somebody.
Me and Jabali, we were close. We were very close. He was very positive, great personality, a lot of energy. Growing up in Pacoima, we saw violent activities, and unfortunately, there was a time period Jabali identified as a Blood.
Jabali was a member of the Blood Street Gang in the late 90s and spent 2 years in prison on an armed robbery charge in the early 2000s. But precious time away from his toddler son, Jabali Jr., convinced him to leave the gang life behind.
He wanted to turn his life around. He would do whatever for his son.
When he got out of prison, he said that his main reason why he wanted to be, done with that past life of criminal activity was me. He can't raise a son if he's too busy rotting in jail. Growing up, my dad always gave me great advice. At one point, I joined the marching band, and he told me how to practice and how many hours you should really be putting in daily. And lo and behold, I was able to outwork everybody and actually become the captain of the drum team. He was very supportive.
Jabali was getting his life where he wanted it to be.
You understand?
Jabali was a sanitation worker, and he loved it.
August 15, everything changed.
Jabali went to work. He got off early, and he usually stops in this area to talk to some of his friends and just hang out a little bit before going home and relaxing.
He had just came out with another friend, and he was standing minding his own business when all of a sudden...
Fire paramedic operator 175, what's the address to the emergency?
In front of the 99 cent store, somebody just got shot right now.
Where's the person that did the shooting?
I have no idea.
LAPD patrol officers responded. They were able to speak with multiple eyewitnesses who saw the suspect, who was approximately 300 pounds, who was wearing a black sweatshirt, gray pants. They saw him walk up, drew a firearm from his waistband, and fired approximately 6 rounds, striking Jumali Demas at least once in the head.
At the hospital, we learned he was in a coma. It's overwhelming.
It was devastating news, absolutely catastrophic.
There's nothing more hurtful than to know that your loved one is laying there. You'd be willing to give your own life in replace of that other person. That's the most hopeless feeling that a person can have.
While the LAPD had plenty of eyewitnesses, they still weren't able to identify the shooter. But the break in the case came from a 911 call earlier in the day.
Approximately 2 hours prior to the shooting, there was a felony hit and run.
Would like to report a hit and run. Some guy just sideswiped a car.
Where a witness had seen the driver.
He was light-skinned with glasses.
Stop following the car.
The individual again calls in later on indicating that the vehicle is in the area and that the driver was most likely someone who had just shot somebody.
I have reported a hit and run earlier, and some guy shot somebody up the street. It's the same guy.
Can you give me the vehicle information?
The plate is...
Okay.
Using the license plate, the LAPD saw who the registered owner of the vehicle was. A dangerous gang member with the Van Nuys boys that operates in the San Fernando Valley of Los Angeles. Omar Cardenas.
The damage that the bullet did to his brain. The neurosurgeon basically said it was in God's hands.
Let's find Omar Cardenas and end this manhunt. Take a look. He's allegedly tied to the violent Pierce Street gang in LA's San Fernando Valley and goes by the nickname Dollar. Cardenas is a Latino male, 30 years old, about 5 feet 7 inches tall, and tips the scale at nearly 300 pounds. He has brown hair, brown eyes, and might be sporting a beard and wearing prescription glasses. If this sounds like someone you know, don't wait. Call 1-866-AMW-TIPS or go to amwtips.com. The FBI is offering a reward of up to $250,000 for information that puts this guy behind bars, right where he belongs.
Coming up, he walked into a bank like he owned the place, armed with a gun and zero hesitation, then grabbed the cash and vanished. Now, a reformed bank robber, once profiled here on AMW, joins us to help track this fugitive the FBI calls the Red Hat Guy. But first, we need your help solving this. A market in Oxon Hill, Maryland, is the scene where two thieves ram their way into the store to steal an ATM machine while causing thousands of dollars in damage. Around 4:50 a.m. at a Weiss Market on Livingston Boulevard, a white truck smashes through the store's display cases before parking in the middle of the debris. Then two masked men jump out and load the store's ATM machine into the back of their white Ford F-250 truck with noticeable damage on the side. The entire heist over in less than a minute. The only clue the thieves left was a white, nondescript license plate that ends in 389. So if you have any information about this brazen robbery, call our hotline at 866-AMW-TIPS or at amwtips.com. And remember, you can make a difference. Welcome back to America's Most Wanted. For 6 years, Jabali Dumas's family has lived with heartbreak and no justice. Now the FBI is turning up the heat, adding his accused killer, Omar Cardenas, to their infamous 10 Most Wanted list.
It was the Los Angeles Police Department identifying Omar Cardenas as the primary suspect. They produced photographs and showed it to eyewitnesses, whom confirmed that looked to be the person that shot Jabali Dumas. Omar Cardenas, he's a member of the Van Nuys boys gang, which at the time was warring with the Piru Blood gang in the San Fernando Valley of Los Angeles. The location of where the crime occurred was a local hangout for the Piru Bloods. Most likely, Omar Cardenas was out searching around for a member of the Piru Blood gang and was going to target them and attempt to kill them. Jabali Dumas used to be a Piru Blood gang member. However, he had left that life.
Jabali was in the wrong place at the wrong time. At this point, medically, there's nothing that can be done. We stayed there until he took his last breath.
Authorities in Los Angeles start a citywide manhunt for Cardenas, who is very well known to law enforcement.
Omar Cardenas got a young start to criminal activity. In 2016, he had a narcotics arrest following the murder of Jabali Dumas. Omar Cardenas has been added to the FBI's top 10 most wanted because of his violent nature, as well as his ability to evade detection by law enforcement for several years at this point.
Jabali being murdered has devastated our family. It's not a day that goes by that we don't think about Jabali.
I still think about my dad every single day. When my protector is gone, my advisor is gone. It is the ultimate feeling of loneliness.
It's just like someone takes a knife, jabs it in your heart, and just twist and twist and twist. And to watch his only son have to witness that is so unfair. Omar Cardenas needs to be caught. What he did was wrong, and it's only fair that he be brought to justice.
Joining us now is Jennifer Love. She was an assistant director with the FBI, where she worked for 25 years. Jennifer, welcome.
Thank you.
Now, based on your experience, why would somebody do something like this?
He could be an enforcer. It could have been for street cred. But what I believe is it was a retaliation. The manner in which the incident occurred, broad daylight, he allegedly cranked off 6 rounds and then casually walked off. Jabali had one time been in the Bloods. He had turned his life around, but one of the things that I often say to gang members and young people is you never get out.
Someone who turns their life around, a former gang member, but now reformed, and still the gang is knocking at his door.
They always remember, they tend to.
When it comes to gangs and retaliation, what needs to be done to end this violence?
The short answer would be no gangs, no violence. When this happens, you have to take those folks off the streets. You have to make sure you find them and make sure that justice is served. Otherwise, it continues.
Now, it's a big deal to be added to the FBI's top 10 most wanted.
The reason why it made the top 10 is because he fits the criteria perfectly. Violent offender, heinous crime, number 1. Someone who's evaded law enforcement, case has gone cold, and a belief that involving the public can give the case life and possibly lead to a conclusion. And it was, I keep bringing it back to this idea that it was a crowded strip mall. I go to a strip mall sometimes, right? There were innocent people out there that day.
So you think he's identifiable?
He's distinct in his size.
This guy's a whopping 300 pounds. I know it's not easy for a guy that big to hide.
Someone out there knows him and has seen him.
Absolutely.
I think we can get this guy with the public's help. He has to know that we're going to find you and there's a consequence to your actions.
Thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it. So let's bring this monster in. Omar Cardenas is a 30-year-old Latino male, 5 feet 7 inches tall and weighs almost 300 pounds. He has brown hair and brown eyes, and it's possible he's wearing a beard and prescription eyeglasses. He allegedly shot Jabali Dumas in Sylmar, California, in the San Fernando Valley, so it's possible he could still be in Southern California. However, investigators believe Cardenas has ties all over Mexico where he could be hiding, including Tijuana, Guadalajara, and Monterrey. Or he could be working on a construction crew in Arizona or Texas. Remember, the FBI is offering up to $250,000 for his arrest and conviction. If you think you've seen him, don't approach him. He's considered armed and dangerous. Call us with your tips at 1-866-AMW-TIPS or go to amwtips.com.
Coming up, it was a brazen stick-up, a quick, calculated bank heist caught on camera. We need your help to ID this dorky dirtbag before he strikes again. And then, he's America's top dog and a crime-fighting hero. Canine cop Bo the Bloodhound is in the house. So stay with us. We'll be back after the break. Welcome back. Now, this next case is a wild one. Not because the dirtbag stands out, but because he totally doesn't. Dressed more for a golf outing than a bank robbery, this crook in khakis pulled off a major bank heist.
My name is Paris Capilupo. I'm a detective with Montgomery County Police Department, and I'm also a task force officer with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. September 16, 2022, it was a busy Friday afternoon in Silver Spring. Approximately 12:25, we were notified that a man walked into the Truist Bank armed with a handgun inside his waistband. He's wearing a red hat with an unidentified logo on the hat. When he first walked into the bank, he asked to speak with a manager, which is not typical of average bank robbers. They want to get in and get out.
The man in the red hat then follows the bank manager into her office and pulls out a handgun. He then orders her to take him to these unsuspecting tellers.
The suspect in his actions and his words escalated this very quickly. He told the employees he wasn't afraid to die, that he would shoot them in the head. Don't push any buttons or alarms. He terrified all the employees in that bank.
Customers fell to the floor in fear and fled the bank in a panic. Once the suspect left, a teller hit the silent alarm and called 911. After just 4.5 minutes inside, the suspect instructed the manager to walk him to a nearby parking garage, where surveillance caught him in a stairwell. But beyond that, nothing. No footage of his car, no sign of where he went, like he knew exactly where the cameras were located.
This bank robbery was not a small heist. In fact, it's the biggest heist I've worked in my 12 years of working bank robberies. When he left, he turned to the tellers and said, "Sorry for ruining your Friday." Based on how smoothly this bank robbery went, we do believe that he's done this before. He knew exactly what to say, where to go, and how to get out without leaving a trace. One of the most striking things we observed is his use of the firearm and his discipline with keeping his finger off the trigger. We find that to be only reserved for law enforcement, security, military during a traumatic event like this. This man is armed and dangerous and still at large. If you recognize this person, please contact your local authorities. You could help prevent his next heist or something worse.
Joining us now to discuss this bizarre case is a guest who was once a fugitive we featured right here on America's Most Wanted, and one of the biggest bank robbers in the country, Kane Vincent Dyer, known as the Kangaroo Bandit.
Hello, sir.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
You're on the right side.
It's nice to be invited here versus being featured.
Did you know we were on to you?
Once I was featured, I actually had several friends call me and say, "We think we just saw you on America's Most Wanted," or "There's a guy who looks just like you on America's Most Wanted." And I tried to lean on the "he looks just like me." But
Right.
It really did put a lot of pressure on me. It was, I guess you can call it the beginning of the end.
The beginning of the end.
Yes, sir.
While you were out there, how many banks did you rob?
I robbed approximately 30 in the Los Angeles County area and about 75 more outside of that, so approximately 100 banks total.
What stands out about this bank robber? He wasn't a pro like you. I don't think so.
Well, it seems that way. It seems that way.
Amateur hour.
It seems he made a few mistakes.
Yeah.
He didn't take a bag in, something to carry the funds with, which speaks to two things, either nervousness where he forgets, or he knows that area and he knows they'd have bags and things that he could put the loot in.
Right. This video of this robber, he doesn't have his finger on the trigger. Do you think that this robber could be military or law enforcement?
That's exactly what I think. That's one of the things you learn doing basic
First
training. Gun safety.
Keep that finger off the trigger.
Absolutely.
Right.
And also, he has a limp, which would tell me he's probably on disability. Maybe the disability hasn't been able to cover everything. The fact that he said he was ready to die, this guy's hurting. This guy's hurting. It's probably not his regular thing he does.
I felt the same way, but you turned yourself in, am I right?
Yes, sir. I turned myself in. The number one motivating factor in my life was my family, my daughters. How can I tell them what's right and wrong when their dad's a criminal?
Right.
It was a hard decision. And I'll tell this gentleman that.
Right.
It's going to be a hard decision to pick up that phone and turn yourself in.
Mm-hmm.
Every sinner has a future and every saint has a past. He can put his life back together, just as I did, and do the right thing.
You're proof you can turn it around and do something good with your life.
I hope so, sir.
Cal?
Let's take a close look at this bank bandit. He's a white male, in his 50s, about 6 feet tall, and weighs 230 pounds. This guy has an everyman kind of look, but don't be fooled by his appearance. He's got a practiced grip on his weapon, leading investigators to believe he may have training in law enforcement, the military, or even private security. And there's one more key detail. He walks with a noticeable limp. If you've seen him, consider him armed and dangerous. Call 1-866-AMW-TIPS or go to amwtips.com.
Coming up next, he's got a badge, 4 legs, and one incredible nose. All the way from Gastonia, North Carolina, Bo the Bloodhound is here. Plus, more details on the fugitives we're looking for tonight. We need your tips to get some dangerous people off the streets. Let's get these dirt bags. Welcome back. He's tracked suspects, found missing persons, and made his community proud. And we want to give him a big AMW pat on the back. Bo, the canine cop, the American Humane Society's top dog. Sergeant David Rowland of the Gastonia Police Department in North Carolina is Bo's handler and partner. Great to have you here.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for having us.
You guys do a great job.
Thanks for being
I really
here.
appreciate this.
Give us a little background of Bo.
Yeah, Bo is a 2-year-old bloodhound that we got since he was 8 weeks old, and we trained him in-house.
And what makes bloodhounds so good at their job?
Yeah, so as you can see here, he's smelling around everywhere. So Bo here, he's just gonna lay down. Everything built about Bo is made for tracking. He has somewhere around 300 million olfactory receptors, which is unheard of. We only have around 5 million. I could introduce an article of clothing of yours and give it to Bo, and he'll only track you, and he wouldn't track you.
How many bad guys?
We've caught around 18 people so far.
Wow.
Bo's most infamous case was a kidnapped child that was taken at knife point, and Bo picked up the scent and tracked 7 miles to an abandoned house, located the woman still inside with a knife and the child.
He's a true hero.
Yeah, he's a great asset to our department and our community.
Got a little special treat for you and Bo. It's a special America's Most Wanted badge.
That's amazing. Thank you, guys. We really appreciate y'all.
And thanks, Bo. How about a paw? Oh, thank you, buddy. Okay. We're gonna need your help on some of these cases coming up, all right, buddy?
Anytime.
You know, Bo can't do it alone, and we need your tips too. So let's take one more look at the fugitives we need to catch tonight. We're on the hunt for 3 suspects who were allegedly involved in the murder of Randy Miller in Atlantic Beach, North Carolina. Authorities believe the suspects are not from Atlantic Beach and fled the scene driving a silver 4-door 2013 to 2017 Volkswagen CC. The North Carolina State Bureau of Investigations is offering a $75,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and convictions of these alleged killers.
Omar Cardenas is wanted for the senseless killing of Jabali Dumas in Sylmar, California. Cardenas is Latino, 30 years old, 5 foot 7 inches tall, and he weighs around 300 pounds. It's possible he's wearing a beard and prescription eyeglasses. The FBI is offering a reward of up to $250,000 for information leading to his arrest and conviction.
We also need to track down a stealthy bank robber in Silver Spring, Maryland. This guy could be someone you never thought of as a dangerous armed robber. He's a white male in his 50s, 6 feet tall, and 230 pounds, and has a noticeable limp. Remember, authorities believe this fugitive knows his way around guns, so he could have a law enforcement, military, or security background. If you have any information, don't wait. Call 1-866-AMW-TIPS or visit amwtips.com. Let's bring these fugitives to justice.
Now, before we go, let's take a quick look ahead to next week at a fugitive we're tracking down. A torched home, a shattered family. It's a brutal triple murder, and the manhunt for one of the most wanted fugitives in the Pacific Northwest is on. Your tip could bring this alleged killer in. Next week on America's Most Wanted.
Thank you for watching. I'm Callahan Walsh. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.
And I'm John Walsh. Remember, you can make a difference. You know, police asked me for help in identifying this dirtbag, so let's get busy. I'm John Walsh, and I've dedicated my entire life to locking up the worst criminals.
We're tracking down one of the most ruthless gangs of lawbreakers we've ever gone after.
My son Callahan and I are fired up. With your help, we're coming for fugitives, hunting them down, and putting them right where they belong, behind bars, including these that you'll see tonight. A rapper on the verge of stardom is gunned down in cold blood, just steps from a police station. We need your help to track down his suspected killer, Matari Dixon. Then, a scene straight out of a horror movie. 3 people executed and their house set on fire to cover up the crime. The hunt is on for Jason Berman. And later, a teenager goes to a party and is caught in the crossfire of a deadly drive-by. His brother, Fox News analyst Gianno Caldwell, is here and determined to find the killer.
I've been out for justice for families like ours across the country.
America's Most Wanted is the original true crime series, and we're back. You can run, but you can't hide. Hello, everyone. I'm John Walsh.
And I'm Callahan Walsh.
And this is America's Most Wanted. We're back with a new lineup of lowlifes who think they can outrun justice and disappear, but they forgot about one thing, you.
Your tips have helped us take down 1,198 fugitives. And tonight, we're asking for your help again.
And for National Police Week, we want to salute the brave men and women in law enforcement for courageously protecting our communities.
To those who paid the ultimate price in the line of duty, and to the survivors, we thank you and we honor your sacrifice.
Now let's saddle up and get to work. We got some really bad guys to catch. In our first case, we're on the hunt for a fugitive who allegedly gunned down a talented rap star in the prime of his life. James Caldwell Jr. was just 29 years old, and with breakout tracks and videos, he was on the verge of something very big.
Watch how we weather the storm. I always give him fire any record I'm on. Give him my roses while I'm here. Don't wait till I'm gone.
James was a breath of fresh air. We had a very strong bond where he knew he can come to me for anything, and I felt the same way. He was one of my best friends.
Music was an expression for him. It was around 7 or 8 that he took an interest in rap music.
He would have his notebook where he would just like jot down his rhymes.
All the time.
But it started getting serious once he was entering high school.
Play with my space, man, no choice. And I'm all in.
Anytime he could be in the studio, James was going to be in the studio.
Hold up, wait.
He had won a few different showcases, including Coast to Coast Showcase in Miami, that he came in first place. James loved his community. When he talked about his rap career, he was going to give back.
I want to be known for community work, you know, Kings Stop Killing Kings and all that.
It made my heart really proud.
James's music and his message struck a chord with fans in New Rochelle and beyond. But one of his biggest fans was an old classmate named Matari Dixon.
They weren't the best of friends, but they were associates. I believe he made beats.
When we look back on both of their social medias, it kind of seemed that Matari was real eager to collaborate with James. James was like the main character. He was the focal point for a lot of people. Matari was kind of the opposite. Bit of a loner, a little bit of an outcast.
With his career on the rise, James was in a position to give the relative unknown a shot. And in 2021, he decided to collaborate with Matari on a new song.
And I know it's gonna die every day.
Kind of gave Matari a shot where maybe he wasn't ready for.
He should have had it.
The track did so poorly that James took it down off of his YouTube channel. My understanding talking to people is that it was just trash, and it was mainly because of the beat. It was also very evident that Matari felt he was being disrespected and he was being left behind.
April 2022 is when I started to notice the negative comments on James's social media. Matari went from someone, you know, supporting James and James's music to someone now hating on him.
During our investigation, we came across several text message threads. Matari's threatening James, and it was clear that it was well beyond just words. Myself and several members of the Criminal Investigative Division were actually gearing up to make an arrest on an unrelated case. And as we're sitting there, we hear several gunshots ring out. We got a 911 call, shots fired. When we pull up on scene, we see a victim laying face down in a pool of blood, bleeding heavily from his mouth. The suspect had fled prior to us arriving.
When I arrived at the hospital, I felt a family friend grab me. I remember her whispering to me, "He didn't make it." And from there, I felt like somebody was choking me to death.
When they brought me into the room, I said, "I want to see him now." And that's when someone had said to me, you know, that they were sorry that he passed away. And I just was over him crying.
It only took us about 10 minutes to spin up our whole Criminal Investigative Division. It's kind of an all-hands-on-deck situation. We have officers all throughout the city pulling cameras, trying to track the suspect. He's captured on numerous videos. No one in our division knew who he was, but it just so happens that one of the guys that works here walks by and says, "Oh, what'd Matari do now?" And we're like, "Well, you know who this is?" And he says, "Yeah, I grew up with him. That's Matari Dixon."
So here's what we know about Matari Dixon. Take a look. He's a 32-year-old black male, 6'1" and weighs 235 pounds. He has brown eyes and black hair, but his head may be shaved. He also has a tattoo of a man's face on his upper left arm. One other detail about Dixon that might help you spot him, he often wears earbuds or headphones. Dixon is wanted for murder in New York, and the FBI is offering $10,000 for a tip that brings this scumbag in.
Coming up, surveillance video captures the brutal moment when James Caldwell Jr. is murdered and the suspected killer casually walking away. Then, a twisted family nightmare. 3 people shot dead, a house in flames, and the man accused of pulling the trigger is their own stepfather. And later on, an innocent teen is killed in a hail of gunfire on the streets of Chicago. The victim's brother, Fox News analyst Gianno Caldwell. He's fighting for justice and demanding answers. But first, we need your tips to help solve this. Take a good look. In Sacramento, California, this video captures 2 armed men storming a Domino's Pizza just before closing, intent to rob the place. With guns drawn, the 2 suspects demand money from the register. The employee complies, opens the register, and pulls out the cash. But it's not enough. One suspect, growing impatient, jumps the counter and forces her to open the safe. They grab blue satchels filled with money, but in their haste, spill cash across the floor as they flee, making off with around $500. Thanks to sharp detective work, investigators identified one of the suspects as 33-year-old Johnny Battle, a man already on parole. But investigators need help identifying the second thief. He appears to be a thin, light-skinned male, estimated to be around 5'10", with a slight build. If you know who this second gunman is, call us now at 866-AMW-TIPS or go to amwtips.com. Let's get these dirtbags. Now this one is as cold-blooded as it gets. Chilling surveillance video captures the moment James Caldwell Jr. is gunned down, and the suspect, Matari Dixon, strolling away like nothing happened.
James Caldwell Jr., we miss you. Everybody is never gonna forget you.
James's death was heartbreaking for me because it was like, I can't say bye. For my parents, it's probably 50 million times harder.
The pain as a mother, as you losing your child, is just something you'll never forget. And people always say that in time it gets less, but it's just something that it's too hard to get through.
Now that we have a positive ID on the suspect as Matari Dixon, the next step is the video evidence. We have a lot of video cameras in the area. You could see an individual in a black hoodie comes down the street. And then several gunshots ring out. We see James try to flee, then he collapses from his wounds. At this point, Matari is running from the crime scene. He turns the corner. He very calmly puts his earbuds in his ears, just calmly walks down the street like nothing happened. And he walks to Metro North train station, and he is out of New Rochelle in under 15 minutes. He's out of New York State in under 25.
The FBI was called in to assist with the manhunt.
We were able to track Matari's movements through cell phone records to a bus station in New York City. He then boarded a bus and traveled southbound to Atlanta, Georgia, before finally going north into South Carolina and then into Charlotte. Turns his cell phone off, that's where that trail goes cold.
He is allegedly still armed and a danger to the public. There's a family out there that's praying for good news.
This is going on 3 years. It don't sit right with me with somebody that loved and that loyal. All you could do is pray.
I lost a piece of my heart. And every day, I'm trying to push through. But I know that piece will never return.
It's important to me that we get justice for him because he didn't deserve to die like that. That's my baby, and I will love him forever until I'm with him.
Here with us to talk about this case is Sergeant Tim Adrian with the New Rochelle Police Department. Welcome to AMW.
Thank you.
You were able to ID Matari Dixon pretty quickly. Can you walk us through that?
Yeah, within about 4 hours, as we're pulling video from all over, we got video from our cameras, but we also have several businesses in the area. No one in the detective division actually knew who he was, and one of our officers just happened to be walking by the room, says, "What are you guys looking at Matari for?" And at that moment, just everything stopped.
And your colleague that helped ID him, how did he know him? How was he able to spot him and recognize him so quickly?
He went to school with him, and he grew up with him.
Oh, wow. So it wasn't like Matari was a career criminal. He'd been arrested 20 times, and he knew him from that.
Yeah, he knew him from school. He was able to legally purchase that firearm because he'd never been in trouble before.
But how does that change your investigation?
If he was a career criminal, they're going to go right back into their business. If they're dealing drugs, if they're a gangbanger, and sometimes we get lucky, they get picked up on something completely unrelated. And then when their fingerprints come back, we score an easy arrest off of it. That's not going to be the case with this guy. He's not a gangbanger. He's not a criminal mastermind.
But he still eluded capture. It seems like he's never really held down a real job and doesn't really have any discernible skills that would help him stay on the run. When you're diving into a suspect like that, what are you looking for?
We're looking to see where he might end up. You know, if he has a certain skill set that we know, if he's a carpenter or something like that, we'd put that out, trying to find out if he's being employed somewhere to keep his money flowing. He has nothing like that in his background.
I mean, is it even possible he's still working in the music industry?
That seems to be his passion, so that would be my guess. That would be what he seems he would be drawn to.
How do you think he's been able to elude law enforcement for this long?
He stayed off the radar. He stayed out of trouble. He's never been arrested before this, and obviously he hasn't been arrested since this. So I think he's getting help from friends and family.
When you say that, in what ways do you think they're helping him?
Financially, giving him a place to lay his head, helping him maybe assume a new identity. People are looking for him, and it's been 2 years now, and he's still laying low.
For our viewers at home watching this right now, how can they help you catch this guy?
Take a good look at him, and if you think you see him, call. There's many times that we make these arrests, and people come out of the woodwork later saying that they saw something and they thought it was minuscule or not important. Every piece of information helps. That small piece of information they're holding on to can be what we need to break this case wide open.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. Take a good look at Matari Dixon. He's a 32-year-old black male, 6'1" and weighs 235 pounds. He has brown eyes and black hair, but his head may be shaved. After the murder in New Rochelle, authorities believe Dixon boarded a train to Stamford, Connecticut. He may have then taken a bus to Atlanta, Georgia, and traveled on to Charlotte, North Carolina. Authorities say Dixon has ties to a small city outside of Atlanta called Stone Mountain. The FBI is offering $10,000 for the whereabouts and the arrest of Matari Dixon. Call us at 1-866-AMW-TIPS or go to our site, amwtips.com.
Coming up, it's a crime scene truly straight out of a nightmare. A triple murder, a house in flames, and a stepfather who vanishes without a trace. But first, we need your tips to help us with this. Outside a grocery store in Philadelphia is a scene of a terrifying stabbing in broad daylight. At the corner of North Broad and Blavis Street, the suspect is seen here walking into a Save-A-Lot supermarket at 12:40 p.m. The security guard on duty confronts this unknown man, asking him repeatedly to leave. Moments later, the dirtbag pulls out a knife and begins stabbing the security guard multiple times. He's chased by another man, but flees the scene. Thankfully, the security guard survived, but this suspect remains at large. He's described as a 50-year-old, 5'5" African-American male with a medium build. He was seen wearing a green jacket and green camouflage pants, a gray hoodie, and tan boots. Take a look at him again. If you recognize this man, call us at 866-AMW-TIPS or go to amwtips.com and send us your information. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Now, this next case is the stuff of pure evil. A mother, her teenage son, and his girlfriend all shot to death, and their home burned to the ground. You won't believe who allegedly pulled the trigger and lit that match. Take a look.
Our mom, Erin, was everything. My name is Kaylee Dawson, and Erin was my mother. My mother was my teacher, my counselor, the person I called in my happiest moments, and the person I called at my lowest lows. There are 5 of us: Kyle, Heaven, Kendra, myself, Kaylee, and Taylor.
She loved being with all of us. But in 2010, our mom was introduced to Jason Berman.
They slowly fell in love. They were fun together. Their favorite hobby was jeeping, exploring the mountain roads. My mother loved him. She just knew there was something special with him. Jason is Dad in my phone. I called him Dad.
My mom and Jason were together for 8 years before they decided to tie the knot. She seemed very happy with Jason.
In 2018, Jason, Erin, and Erin's son, Taylor, were living in the small rural community of Concrete, Washington.
My mom was the breadwinner. She made all the money while Jason took care of the house. He made sure Taylor got off to school, took care of the dogs, did the grocery shopping, the cooking and cleaning.
By 2022, there was another person spending time at the Berman house, Taylor's girlfriend, Jillian.
At 18 and 19 years old, they were loving and caring toward each other. Taylor was really good with Jilly, and they were great together.
It was my nephew's 1-year birthday party at the lake.
don't even know if I can talk about this one. My mom and Taylor and Jilly and Jason were late.
We were all, where's Mom and Taylor? Where's Jason? And not even 5 minutes later, I get a call from Detective Jones.
We told Kaylee that we were investigating a fatal fire at her mother's residence and that we believed that we had found her mother.
I didn't quite understand what they were telling me.
The nightmare began just 24 hours earlier.
911, what is your emergency?
I want to report a forest fire. Just black smoke, thick black smoke.
I think my neighbor's house is on fire.
When I got to the Berman residence, the house, which was 3 stories, had completely collapsed to the foundation. As the smoke cleared, we discovered one body, Aaron Berman.
We were able to find 2 more bodies inside the residence. We suspected that the 2 other victims could be Taylor, Aaron's 19-year-old son, and his girlfriend, Jillian Whitney Van Boven.
The police showed up, and they said, we're trying to figure out where your daughter is. So I grabbed the phone and I called her father. And I'm just praying that she's there. And he got there and she wasn't.
Jillian had a German Shepherd, Bridget. She would take her collar off at night. And first responders found Bridget roaming the property without her collar. This led us to believe that Jillian could be in the house.
When Bridget finally was returned to me and I was hugging her and petting her, I looked down at my hands and they were black. It was the soot of the fire that was all over her, and realized that that was also my daughter. That would be the last thing I would have physically of her.
Tragically, a new discovery would make this already devastating event even more heartbreaking.
I mean, it sounds crazy. It sounds like gunshots.
As we're walking around, we're finding shell casings. We now have to consider that this is a crime scene and that it's not an accidental fire. We have 3 bodies burned beyond recognition. We're able to determine that there were 4 cell phones on the property belonging to Aaron, Taylor, Jillian, and Jason. But Jason Berman was not found on the property, nor was his blue Chevy pickup truck. This leads us to believe that now this was a homicide investigation.
Jason Berman is the prime target in this manhunt, so let's haul him in. He's 50 years old, Caucasian, 5 feet 11 inches tall, and weighs 210 pounds. He has blue eyes, is mostly bald, and has gray hair on the sides. Authorities say he walks with a noticeable limp and frequently wears a baseball cap. His truck also disappeared that day, a blue 1994 Chevy pickup model GMT 400 with Washington plates. Authorities are offering a $15,000 reward for information leading to Berman's arrest. If you've seen Jason Berman or his truck, don't wait. This family deserves closure and justice.
Coming up, investigators dig through the ashes and discover the twisted motive behind it all. 2 of the victims' daughters join us with a powerful message about why we have to catch this fugitive. Plus, a teenager murdered in a drive-by shooting in Chicago. Tonight, we're putting a spotlight on this case with the help from the victim's brother, Fox News analyst Gianno Caldwell. But first, we need your help solving this. Montclair, California. A high-end sneaker boutique is hit for the 3rd time in just 1 month. And this time, it's all caught on tape. Inside the Montclair Place Mall, 5 suspects casually stroll into the high-end sneaker and apparel store, Galleria Montclair. Moments later, 4 more waltz through the door. And suddenly, chaos erupts. In seconds, they ransack the store, stealing thousands in designer brands. In the middle of the chaos, one creep repeatedly yells out a name.
Hey, Bridget!
This crew walks off with over $10,000 in merchandise and leaves behind another $20,000 in destruction. Witness cell phone footage captures them exiting, falling over the very items they came to steal. These guys think they're untouchable, but someone out there knows who they are. If you recognize any of them, call 866-AMW-TIPS or go to amwtips.com. And remember, you can make a difference. Welcome back. As the smoke clears, investigators piece together what led to a horrific scene. 3 people murdered, their home torched, and the man they trusted long gone. We'll be joined by the family members who are still living with the devastation and desperately searching for answers. But first, take a good look.
Over 3 days, autopsies occurred on all 3 victims, and we were able to determine gunshots had been contributing circumstances to all of their deaths.
My mind has just been going crazy trying to figure out what went down. If he got my mom first, if he got Taylor and Jillian first. I'm still in shock.
We believe that the house had been set on fire to destroy the evidence.
We got an arrest warrant for Jason Berman for 3 counts of murder in the 2nd degree. And at this point, our focus was learning everything we could about him. We'd found out he'd been in a very serious motorcycle accident a couple years prior.
He had broken quite a few bones, his femur, some ribs. When he returned home, he was angry. He was angry that his body didn't work as well as it had before. And after the accident, allegedly, Jason got addicted to painkillers.
Jason spiraled from the painkillers after his accident.
I believe there was a lot of arguing about Taylor as well. Jason had vented to me about Taylor being a lazy or sloppy teenager. My mother always stood up for Taylor. She would say, "Settle down, Jason. Stop being so hard on him."
With the spiral, our mom was considering a divorce.
They had recently paid off their house with his inheritance. When we talk about motive, if they divorced, he could have lost everything.
I want Jason in prison. Every day I wake up and am shocked all over again. Jason meant a lot to me. He was just there for me. It's the ultimate betrayal.
It truly feels like 3 chunks of my life are gone. I just want to know why Jason felt that his life was more valuable than Aaron's, Taylor's, and Jillian's. There's nothing that can bring them back.
We are very grateful to have with us Aaron Berman's daughters, Kaylee and Kendra. Thank you for being with us. But first, let me say, I know your pain. I know what you're going through, waiting for justice.
Thank you.
Let's go back to the beginning. You were pretty close to your stepfather, weren't you?
Absolutely, yeah. He'd been in our lives the last 15 years. I mean, we loved him. I thought he loved us and my mother, and he's dad in my phone, so.
My son shares a middle name with him because of, I named my son after this man.
It was Grandpa Jason,
It's inconceivable, isn't it?
Yeah.
What were your first thoughts when you heard there was a fire?
I thought it was an accident.
Right.
The house runs on propane, a lot of appliances and things.
Aha, so you thought it might have been an accident and he would be in the house.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just so terrible. So you lost 3 loved ones.
Yeah, our mother and youngest brother are gone.
The boy he raised from 4 years old to 19.
And his beautiful, sweet girlfriend.
How is the rest of the family dealing with this?
I think we're all really struggling. My older brother still lives 15 minutes from the fire. He's trying to move out of there just because, he can't sleep. And we're mentally struggling with a lot of it.
Absolutely. Anger, sadness,
Yeah,
all of it.
all of it.
What did he do to make a living?
He had a couple odd jobs over the years, but he really didn't make a living. He drove a dump truck building logging roads for a little bit. He knows all the logging roads. He knows, you know, all the trailheads and the lakes.
He knew the
area
woods
so well.
very well.
And he knows people that have little cabins here and there, or, you know, and
That
it's
might be vacant that he could hold up in, because there are literally hundreds of cabins.
And they're hidden. And then he did drive long-haul trucking.
So he could have grabbed a long-haul truck and drove across the country.
I mean, he's capable of it, I
If he's an
suppose, yeah.
18-wheeler,
Oh, yeah.
he could do that.
He knows
right?
how to do that.
He wasn't working. How do you think he's surviving out there?
Well, he is a hoarder, kind of. I would
Hoarder.
describe him as a hoarder. He likes to collect guns, money, gold, things like that, as well as other, like, camping gear.
What hobbies or passions did he have?
He loved getting a deal. He loved garage sailing and the swap meet and stuff like that.
So as crazy as he is, or seems to be, he could go to a flea market, right?
Absolutely.
He could pick up stuff he needed. You don't think he's got anybody helping him?
There's been rumors that there's a lady that is helping him or was helping him.
Possible girlfriend. I can't fathom that anybody would want to be harboring him or helping him.
He was a talker. He knew how to talk.
He was a likable person.
Likable, but did you ever wonder and worry about his behavior?
Looking back now after this, I see that he was possessive over his things and could be frustrated by helping people out. Like, everybody's out to use him, when that was never the case. We would be going to our mother, who...
Right, run into mom.
Yeah.
I just feel if I had seen some signs, maybe I could have talked with her. We had good conversations about relationships, and had I known maybe this wasn't a good relationship, I don't know. I would say I'm sorry.
I know your pain from having lost a loved one, but it's not your fault. You know it's not your fault.
I know.
Your mother was a good, great mother. All of you say the same things, and you all loved her so much.
Every single day, something reminds me of her. I mean, you know, I want to call her right now and tell her how this went. I want to share everything with her.
You deserve the justice. You deserve the peace of mind. And I think our viewers are going to help do that.
Yeah,
Proud of you,
absolutely.
the ladies.
Thank you so much.
God bless. Cal.
Let's take another good look at Jason Berman. He's a 50-year-old Caucasian male, 5 feet 11 inches tall and weighs 210 pounds. He has blue eyes, is mostly bald, and has gray hair on the sides. Authorities say he walks with a noticeable limp and often wears a baseball cap. Berman allegedly fled the crime scene in Concrete, Washington, driving a blue 1994 Chevy pickup model GMT 400 with Washington plates. It's possible he crossed the Canadian border where he has relatives. But Berman also has connections to Texas, Ohio, and New York, where he has other family and a work history. If you think you've seen Berman or his truck, call us with your tips at 1-866-AMW-TIPS or go to amwtips.com.
Coming up, an innocent life stolen in a drive-by shooting. The victim's big brother, Fox News analyst Gianno Caldwell, is asking for your help to find the dirtbag who pulled the trigger. Now stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Christian Beeman was just 18 years old. He had his whole life in front of him until he was shot dead on the streets of Chicago. Now his brother, Fox News analyst Gianno Caldwell, is turning to AMW because a killer is still out there, and it's way past time to bring him in. Take a look.
June 24, 2022, my life changed forever when my innocent teenage baby brother Christian was murdered on the south side of Chicago.
Christian Beeman was a high school senior with dreams of college and a bright future ahead of him. But in an instant, it was gone. The 18-year-old was outside a house after a party around 2 a.m. when a black SUV pulled up. Gunman jumped out and opened fire. 50 shots rang out. 2 people were wounded, but Christian was hit multiple times and died at the scene.
I'm 35 and I'm planning a funeral for my baby brother. That shouldn't be happening.
Gianno Caldwell is a Fox News political analyst. And after his brother's tragic shooting, his colleagues made it their mission to highlight his story.
We know today is an emotional day for you.
Gianno, I don't have words. I really don't, except my heart aches for you.
But even after 2 years, the case hasn't been solved.
I continue to march for hope and pray that the people who murdered my little brother are found and brought to justice.
Christian Beeman's murder made national news. But for Gianno Caldwell, this wasn't just a headline.
If I wasn't on national television, people probably wouldn't care. My family has forever been shattered, and so many families across the United States are dealing with very similar tragedies. It is time for us to speak out and hold criminals accountable to ensure that Christian's legacy means something.
Joining us is Christian's brother, Gianno Caldwell, and a friend of mine. He's a founder of the Caldwell Institute for Public Safety. Glad you're here.
It's an honor to be with you, John.
Thank you. You're here for a very sad reason,
Yes.
and something you and I have been involved in for 3 years now.
That's exactly right. It's been almost 3 years we've been having this conversation. 3 years that I've not even really been able to grieve my brother.
Where were you when you found out about your brother?
I was home in Miami when I discovered what happened. My sister Mia called me in a panic, crying, and she said, "Christian's gone." I didn't understand what that meant. I didn't know if he left and went somewhere or what, but she said, "No, he's been murdered."
The nightmare just started. What do you think happened that night? How did he get caught in the crossfire?
What happened, how it happened, I don't know, because in Chicago, just about any place you go is the wrong place, wrong time.
Absolutely.
Not only that, the city of Chicago needs 2,000 new police detectives to handle the current workload. It's an impossible job that they have.
1 year I went there were 800 plus murders, and I think only 17 made it to the courtroom. How is that possible? I always go there and see these families, just like your family. We need not closure, we need justice. We want to put that behind us. It's not happening in Chicago.
That's exactly right. On the day of the funeral, I was outside the church doing television because, and I would rather have been with my family, but the people who did this are still out there. I recognize that there's more help needed, and that's exactly why I'm here.
What do we know about the suspect or the suspects?
From what I understand, it was a black SUV, 3 to 4 African-American men with dreads. They got out at 114 South Vincent Street in Chicago.
Important.
And they started firing. From what I've been told, it was over a Facebook video that was posted of 2 men fighting and one got beat up badly and he wanted revenge for it being posted. Those are the details that we are aware, but I know that the streets know a whole lot more because the streets talk.
I really believe, and I've learned it for the 30 years of doing this, that somebody knows something, somebody saw something. They're usually just too afraid. And I keep saying, you don't need to be afraid. You can get this hurting family justice.
And this is a very unique opportunity for them. One, they can get some reward money, and they can also free their conscience because they know that an innocent kid was slaughtered that night.
Do the right thing.
Yes.
What would it mean to your family if they caught the guy?
Well, it'll be beyond just catching him. We have to really get the justice by him serving life in prison.
Yep.
And I think that's important. And I think it's also important to know, you know, I had this interview when this first happened, and I said, you know, I could forgive this guy. And people said, how could that be the case? Your brother was just murdered. With accountability, there can be forgiveness because this guy can turn his life around in jail. He can be a change agent.
Yep.
You know, my brother, I can never get him back. No. But what I can do is make good from his death. And that's exactly why I established the Caldwell Institute for Public Safety.
Right.
In my interactions with members of Congress testifying before the Judiciary Committee on Violent Crime in Chicago on the field hearing, there's so many stories that aren't being told.
Right.
And those stories need light as well. This started about my brother.
Yep.
And I said that his legacy would mean something. And now this is his legacy, to shed light for other families to prevent tragedies like this from happening.
I always said it with Adam. We wanted to make sure he didn't die in vain.
Absolutely.
And we're going to do everything we can. You know that.
I would love that. And I would love your continuous support.
When America's Most Wanted shows up with our white-hot spotlight in that city, we usually get results.
The cases that you have done over the almost 1,200 people you brought to justice has made a difference. And, you know, I just remember watching America's Most Wanted on the Saturday nights and just seeing, like, John Walsh saving lives and bringing people to justice. And I hope I'm able to say here, John Walsh was the guy who made it happen.
Right.
You never get over this.
No.
And I know you can speak to that very clearly, John. You never get over it.
Bleeding hole that never heals up.
Never, never. And it's unfortunate that that's the reality, but I'm in a place where I'm learning about these experiences.
Justice is the only end result that means anything. We're going to catch the guy or guys that killed your brother.
I hope that these cages are really rattled and people are coming forth with new tips that's going to help solve this.
You're a very strong man. Hang in there.
Thank you,
my friend. We're going to battle to the end here.
Thank you, my friend.
Cal?
You can help Gianno and his family get the justice they've been fighting for and take a killer off the streets. If you know anything at all that could help solve this case, don't wait. Call us at 1-866-AMW-TIPS or head to amwtips.com. And when we come back, we'll take another look at the fugitives we profiled tonight who need to be found and put away for good. Stay with us.
You don't want to miss what's next.
Welcome back. Let's take another look at who we're tracking down tonight. Matari Dixon is accused of shooting an up-and-coming rap star in New Rochelle, New York. Investigators say he hopped a train, then vanished into the South. He's a 32-year-old black male, 6'1" and weighs 235 pounds. He has brown eyes and black hair, though his head might be shaved. Authorities say Dixon is rarely seen without either earbuds or headphones on, so be on the lookout for that. The FBI is offering $10,000 for his whereabouts and for his arrest.
Jason Berman is accused of killing his own family and burning down their house to cover up his crime. He's most likely on the run in the Pacific Northwest. He's 50 years old, Caucasian, 5 feet 11 inches tall, and weighs 210 pounds. He has blue eyes, is mostly bald, and has gray hair on the sides. Authorities say he walks with a noticeable limp and often wears a baseball cap. He was last seen driving a blue 1994 Chevy pickup with Washington plates. Authorities are offering a $15,000 reward for information leading to Berman's arrest.
And please, we need your help to find the killers who took the life of 18-year-old Christian Beeman while he was at a party in Chicago. Somebody out there knows what happened that night, and we need to give Gianno Caldwell and his family the justice they're looking for.
So, if you have any information about these fugitives, don't wait. Every minute counts. Call 1-866-AMW-TIPS or visit amwtips.com. Now, before we go, let's take a quick look ahead to next week and a fugitive we're hunting for. A quiet mountain town.
As beautiful as it is, there's just kind of an evil.
A missing couple and a twisted trail that ends in murder. Now an accused killer is off the grid and on the run. That's next week on America's Most Wanted.
Thank you for watching this week. I'm Callahan Walsh. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.
And I'm John Walsh. And remember, you can make a difference.